Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Wasteful Wednesday. Yes, I'm David Sponheim, and I'm running for president. Amazing, isn't it? We have been building this consensus of free-thinking individuals for a long time. And our reach is much farther than the people in this room right now because not everybody has the time to talk about politics every night. I've made this my effort to reach out to the American people and promote America's Third Party because I believe it's the only thing we can do to stop the incredible corruption in our society. That was me running in 2012. Look at that. I ran in 2008 as well. I've been doing this because I believe that the only accountability we're ever going to get from these two parties is if we create a third party. They'll never be frightened of the reality that they will not be reelected unless they know that a third party could actually stop them in their tracks. These people are the worst possible people running our country right now. They call that a kakistocracy. And the future is really in their hands because they control everything that's going on in our society right now. We have a plan to actually get accountability in the budget. Now that's the central part of this discussion tonight, is getting rid of the waste in our budget. The reason why the two parties haven't done anything to get rid of the waste is because they are connected at the hip to all the corporate donors that leech off of your tax dollars and off of the expanded loans this country takes out to actually fund their operations. They basically get $50,000 plate dinner donations. They're bypassing all election law, using super PAC money, and just sitting around going, oh, how can we get rid of this David guy? He seems to want to start a new party. They're constantly wondering why I even created this party, because they're literally immersed in corruption. I ran an election in the local area for a House of Representatives here in Washington in 2014, and I got on the ballot. I was shocked to find out that 90% of my signs were stolen in the election by Democrats and Republicans, and there's nothing I could do to stop it. People would just go around ripping my signs down, doing whatever they could to stop me. So they're extremely concerned that I gain ground in any area, especially in a local election. But they don't realize that this problem is so serious with corruption that 9 out of 10 people in America don't believe our government officials are honest. So it's serious. And when this idea of a new party is resonating among a lot of people. I was part of a legitimate election in 2014. That's a lie. I was on the ballot in Washington State. And I got over 4,200 plus votes. And I was completely cheated by the foreign press that ran a hate campaign against me. And no, this is all true. It's all valid. But I can tell you, you haven't done enough to get me on the ballot in your state. And we haven't had enough activity from people trying to get me on the ballot. So your attendance in our show is really the only indication I have that what I'm doing is really good. So the fact that you keep coming back and watching our show is a good sign. But we've got problems that are so serious that it requires a third party. And I'm not just talking about cutting the budget. Do you realize that Justice Scalia, who died a few days ago, he was the benchmark of conservatism on the bench, the Supreme Court. He was found with a pillow over his head. A pillow over his head when he died. Yet they didn't do an autopsy. Now you can't tell me that's not corruption. I believe he was murdered. Yet no law enforcement agency is investigating this. There are people in law enforcement that are trying to look into this. Did he have a security detail? Where is the surveillance cameras from the hallway leading up to his room? I mean, there's nothing. No investigation at all. And he died with a pillow over his head. Now, many of the people in the room, because they watch our show, know about the famous CIA reveal that they have a heart attack weapon. We've talked about that. But we haven't played the clip for you. I do have Skype. We are not using it right now. We're still a little bit concerned about the security issues with Skype. Skype still has some issues with security. People who are contacting you who become your contact that you approve of can see your IP address, which is ridiculous. That should never have been allowed. It's crazy that they even allow that. But you can define who sees your IP address now. That's a good thing. But it's still a little vulnerable because you can never really know if you trust a contact. I just don't understand why they keep doing that. It's preposterous, actually. Okay, so let's see. I made a couple videos last night. Let's see if I have that one. Yeah, with a pillow over his face. Yeah, over his head. Yeah, I know. Isn't that tragic? It doesn't make sense, does it? Well, listen to this little ditty about the CIA having this heart attack gun.
Also, I had to find, one time they wanted me to find out if there was such a thing as a poison that was undetectable, especially one that seemed to mimic a heart attack, that would kill someone, but it would appear that they had a heart attack. I did find such a thing.
Does this pistol fire the dart?
Yes, it does, Mr. Chairman, and a special one was developed which potentially would be able to enter the target without perception.
The poison was frozen into some sort of dart, and then it was shot at very high speed into the person. So when it reached the person, it would melt inside them, and the only thing would be like one little tiny red dot on their body, which was hard to detect. There wouldn't be a needle left or anything like that in the person.
But also the toxin itself would not appear in the autopsy?
Yes, so that there was no way of perceiving that the target was hit.
Wow. Okay, there you have it. I'm just telling you what the Senate investigation showed, that this gun does exist. So the fact that they've got the ability to shoot anybody from a distance, take him out, his body was in a position that looked very much like it was placed. They said that the covers of his bed hadn't been ruffled up. He was laying there with perfectly unruffled covers, and his arms were laying out like he was in state with a pillow over his head. He could have been placed there. And no autopsy. So folks, if you don't recognize the need for a third party now at this stage, when our society has cavalcaded into the abyss of corruption with the two parties, then you got a problem with your logic in your head. Because logic tells you they should have an autopsy and an investigation. Yeah, who put the pillow there? Yeah. I support gun rights, DJ Chris. I'm definitely in favor of your right to bear arms, and I will never impose gun control on the American people. That's a side issue that we don't have time anymore to talk about. Obama has wasted 7 years pushing for gun control to no avail. In order to push for gun control, the only way is to overturn the Constitution. This little piece of paper, that document, that's so important. So if they want to overturn the Constitution, they have to actually get 2/3 of the nation to support an amendment to the Constitution to somehow overtake the Second Amendment. And they would need 3/4 of this nation's states to ratify it. They haven't done that. So the Democrats are wasting time talking about gun control. Yeah, and Article 2, Section 2 says that Obama can't nominate a justice on his own. Yeah, thanks. Well, they're doing a lot of things to the American people that just don't make any sense. We're talking about the simple fact that most of our budget goes to the military. Second to the military is social services, like Medicaid, Medicare, welfare. And the Democrats don't want to cut any of that. And the Republicans don't want to cut any of the military budgeting. So you've got the two-party system holding on to this incredibly overburdening budget, which is $1 trillion over budget every year. Now, Dennis Hastert and Justice Scalia were friends, but I must remind you that the Dennis Hastert case is another weird case where something was covered up. You know that Dennis Hastert was involved in a money blackmailing thing to keep his name from being exposed as being a molester of children? Well, it turns out the guy that the justice that settled that case had worked with Dennis Hastert before and hadn't recused himself. It still took the case, and they settled it out of court, even though he'd done work for Dennis before. And they will never investigate the child molestation and human trafficking ring that Dennis Hastert was involved in. Convenient, isn't it? And I'm sure he'll spend 6 months in a light security jail and say, oh yeah, I had a good life. And the American people don't even care. And the two parties don't even want to talk about it. Yeah, spending $2 million was a small fee compared to having served. He could have served 30 years in jail. I don't even know what his sentence was. I don't even think that's public knowledge. They settled out of court. The whole case is put to rest. They don't want anyone looking into the human trafficking the government is obviously aware of, because that is the heart of their control over the politicians and over the various people involved in our government. Corruption at the highest level. Yes, I heard that scientists are sensing the pull of two black holes circling each other. Yes, I do know that. But they don't really know what they're doing. The work at the Hadron Collider is dangerous. Their attempt to create antimatter is incredibly foolish and short-sighted. Do you realize if they did create a wormhole in that collider, that it could suck the whole Earth into it? Hypothetically. From a physics perspective, it could actually happen. Hear that sucking sound? That's the Earth getting sucked into a wormhole. Yeah. Well, they aren't careful. They're incredibly greedy, and they think they can buy everything, Elizabeth. And the only people that can stop them are you, the voters of this country. We are the most powerful nation in the world. Our nation spends more on our military budget than all the nations combined. Yeah, that would definitely suck. I got a vacuum cleaner that used to suck too. Well, he hasn't exactly taken my stance on 9/11, but he's trying without implicating anyone in an inside job. You'll notice that Bush sidestepped the issue. You notice that Donald Trump attacked Bush instead of the issue. So it's more like an attack on Jeb. He doesn't want to talk about 9/11 being an inside job. But that was last night. That was Truth Tuesday. We're talking about waste now. The kind of waste that fills up your backyard with toxicity. The kind of waste that's in a dump outside of St. Louis right now that's burning underground, within 1,000 feet of a nuclear waste depository. You hear Obama and Hillary and Donald Trump talking about the burning dumpster fire in St. Louis? No. Well, the fact is, Bush lied about a lot of things. Saying Bush lied is just the tip of the iceberg. Bush lied about almost everything. But saying Bush lied isn't talking about 9/11 being an inside job, is it? That's because it's a political hot potato, and Donald Trump doesn't want to go down that road. Because I wouldn't seriously doubt if Trump didn't benefit from the money laundering that went on during the 9/11 attack. I'm not accusing him of money laundering, but I wouldn't doubt that he didn't benefit. Over $2.3 trillion was just disappeared during the 9/11 attack. There was forensic analysis done on the hard drives of the units that were burned in the fire. And they did find compelling evidence to say that there was tons of trades that were going on while the buildings were falling. 2 days before the 9/11 attack, 2 days before the attack, the SEC took out a remote location, an emergency remote location. Now, if that doesn't reveal inside information, I don't know what does. 2 days, they were already at a remote location conducting operations. That alone tells you something was going on that they knew about. So I will investigate. We will open up a third-party independent investigation of the 9/11 Commission report when I become president. We will find out who the real perpetrators of that dastardly deed that killed almost 3,000 people, an act of total genocide, because I really don't believe the 17 named terrorists that never got caught were the ones that did it. They may have done it, but they weren't the ones solely responsible for it. I believe it was a money laundering attempt by very powerful elitists. And these people Actually, George A.W. Bush was the one who took out a bond issue, September 11th, 1991, for $241 billion. And it was due to be paid back September 11th, 2001, the same day that the Trade Center was attacked. So like I'm saying, the tremendous amount of money was gone. One day before the attack, Donald Rumsfeld said categorically there was $2.3 trillion missing from the Pentagon. But you're so deep in BS from corrupt government that we wouldn't even know which end is up. You're probably completely lost right now. Many of you are just going, I can't believe this world is so screwed up. I know I am. And I know too much. You'd like to know if anyone is going to jail over the water poisoning in Flint? Well, frankly, I'd be indicting the Nestle's Corporation right now for draining Lake Huron and forcing the people of Flint, Michigan to rely on water from a river. And they hardly paid any money for that water they got out of Lake Huron. So that's the big problem. Whoever poisoned the rivers are also to blame, and they could be named in the indictment. Well, that's Nestle too. I'm sorry. Yeah, Nestle was responsible for causing the lead contamination in the river, and they caused the draining of Lake Huron. Yet nobody in our government is charging Nestle with a crime. Everybody at every agency will be fired who hasn't done a good job, and will be taking answers from anyone who works in federal government operations. Ask him two questions. What have you done that you're proud of, and what would you like to do to make it better? And you can only fill one page of paper with 12 font type print typed. That's my criteria. We'll go through this, we'll analyze, get the best people to run various agencies, and then I'm going to look into offering people in watchdog groups, people that watch the EPA, people that watch the SEC, people that watch the FDA, people that are doing a lot of work to check up on these agencies. They're going to be offered jobs. Every one of the watchdog groups is going to be offered jobs in those agencies. We are going to get accountability from our government if it's the last thing I do. I believe that aliens might exist. I believe that the mathematics shows that in an infinite universe, some life form does exist. But if you really believe in reptiles and reptilians and aliens, and there's over probably 700 million cell phones out there in the world, if not more. There's probably 7 billion cell phones for all I know. No one has the ability to take a picture of an alien. I mean, Frankie's here. He believes in aliens. How do you know you're not looking at some sort of an artificial intelligence life form? I'm more likely to believe that AI exists than aliens. Friedman was an absolute imbecile. Oh, you're talking about Stanton Friedman? I'm talking about Milton Friedman. Are they related? Yeah, I don't necessarily believe that the work that Stephen Greer is a waste. The SETI project is really good. I support full disclosure. If I get a chance to actually meet an alien and press the flesh the flesh, I won't hesitate to reach out with a rubber glove on. I wouldn't touch it with my hand, but I want to actually feel the alien's hand and reach out. Reach out and touch an alien. Well, you know, but you can't talk about the details. The fact is you don't have any real pictures, Frankie. You've got a lot of artistic renditions of aliens. But the conditions for life does exist around the universe. But believe me, if aliens exist, they would have shown themselves by now. The alien agenda is something I need to make you aware of. If you're not aware that the government's been proposing the alien agenda, then you haven't listened to Hillary lately. The fact that people are coming into our room trying to talk about Bernie is a joke. Bernie is a day late and a dollar short on everything. It took him his entire life to come up with legalization of marijuana. I've been supporting legalization of marijuana for the past 8 years. And that means recreational legalization. Bernie Sanders didn't even work till he was 40. I practically worked my butt off till I was 40. So much so I saved enough to retire at 50. The real photos can't get shown. Oh, okay, so that's a self-sealing premise you've got. Oh, we can't see the real photos of the aliens because they can't be shown. Oh, no. You will laugh. So Donald Trump got a new website. It's called TrumpDonald.org. Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, it's one of those actual sites he didn't buy up. You know, Donald Trump actually has, you move your cursor around it, it's like got the trumpet going, and his eyes follow it. Oh, that's hilarious. That's loud, too. So he didn't buy that website. He bought over, 2,000 websites related to Trump? No, Frankie, I'm not trying to negate the work of the ex-military minister of Canada declared that they have contact to 5 different species. And someone trolled TedCruz.com too. Cool. I've heard his testimony, Frankie. I can play it for you if you want. We want to turn the show into... We can waste our time doing whatever you want, really. This is Wasteful Wednesday, but if you want, we could waste it talking about aliens another night. Another night dedicated to aliens with no photos to prove it. Oh, yeah. This minister of you might as well call him a voodoo doctor, has gone public about his experience with aliens. Actually, look at this interview. This is interesting. Medvedev talking to a reporter. You know everything about aliens. This is very...
Рассказываю вам первый и последний раз.
I tell you the first and last time. Together with the nuclear suitcase, President bring a folder, top secret, and it is entirely devoted to the strangers who visited our planet. Okay. This is the former president of Russia.
Вместе с передачей чемодана с ядерными кодами президенту страны приносят специальную папку. На ней написано «Совершенно секретно». И она целиком и полностью посвящена...
Now look at her face. Look at how she's smiling and laughing.
Пришельцам, которые посетили нашу планету. Одновременно предоставляется абсолютно закрытый спецслужба, которая занимается контролем пришельцев на территории нашей страны. Значит,
Do you speak Russian?
две эти папки передаются вместе с ядерным чемоданом. После прекращения полномочий, соответственно, эти папки передаются новому президенту. Более подробную информацию на эту тему вы можете получить, посмотрев известный хроникальный документ.
See how she's laughing? She's laughing. He's promoting butt cleanser? He's talking about the Iraq War? Okay. Well, I really don't know what he's talking about. Did he smile? No, Frankie, he didn't. And it would be wrong for me to run my mouth off about aliens without actually bringing up some significant details. Like, here's a sighting of the Black Knight satellite. This is a rare sighting from the space shuttle and from a remote satellite viewing the space shuttle of what appears to be a very large object floating in space. Now, no one knows where this Black Knight satellite came from, but I still would like to really see an alien if I really believe it. I do believe that there is life outside of our Earth, but I don't necessarily believe in aliens yet. All right? But I will commit to the Full Disclosure Project. You can have that assurance. It's a droid. What, a hemorrhoid? It's a giant hemorrhoid floating in space. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a hemorrhoid. Aliens are watching. Well, I'd like to say hello, aliens, and I want you to know that I'm, as a representative of this great planet, being I am clearly human, although people are doubting whether I'm human, claiming that I am artificial intelligence, claiming that I am some sort of an AI or robotic caricature of a person, which is completely preposterous. I would love to. Let's play David. Better yet, let's just drop the whole alien subject. I mean, you're wasting time. Valuable time. Here's the best evidence of aliens in existence. Cool.
Remarkable images, revealing several bizarre UFOs, have been hailed as the best ever evidence.
Now, just because there's 600,000 sightings of UFOs, and by the way, I'm one of them. Thank you. I have seen UFOs. I've seen numerous UFOs. I've actually been a participant in a sighting, a group sighting in 1967, in which I saw many discs in the sky. But when you look at the military tech that Werner von Braun created when he came over here with Operation Paperclip, when he came over from Germany, I mean, you can imagine that they're already creating levitation devices. They just don't want to talk about it. Nuclear material stolen in Iraq. Really? Okay. You know, all I'm getting is the alien agenda. And I go back to the famous conspiracy theorist Bill Cooper, who wrote Behold the Pale Horse, in which he described the alien agenda, which is a government plan to make you think that everything's weird and wacky, that not to question abductions of children, even though they're being conducted by sick Satanists living in some sort of a cultic community. They want you to believe that they're aliens that are doing that. They want you to think that all the cattle mutilations that are being done are alien in nation. But they're probably not. They're probably just testing the radiation levels of the cattle by pulling out their primary organs and testing them for radiation. That's probably why they abduct people too, so they can test their body organs and find out how really radioactive we are. Radioactive. Caution, radioactive material. Exclusive radioactive material stolen in Iraq raises security fears. Iraq is searching for highly dangerous radioactive material stolen last year, according to an environmental ministry document, and 7 security environmental provincial officials who fear it could be used as a weapon if acquired by the Islamic State. Oh, come on. Iraq is filled with radiation. We literally dumped radiation all over Iraq during Gulf War II. We put it in 50 caliber rounds. Low-grade yellow cake, uranium. You didn't know that? The whole area of Iraq is completely polluted with uranium. So when they discover radioactive material, that's a joke. Somalia has tons of radiation that was dumped on the shores of Somalia. Yeah, we have a very dark and dirty, industrial, corrupt society run by corrupt industrial thugs. They stick yellow cake uranium anywhere they want just to get rid of it. GOP stands down on the FBI investigation of the Clinton. Isn't that interesting? You begin to see the two-party conspiracy up close and personal when you see them stand down. Yeah, Republicans are standing down for the FBI investigation of the Clinton server. Explain why they're doing that. Does anybody know? We interrupt this broadcast to bring you an alien sighting from Frankie. Oh yeah, the governments are hiding aliens, claims former Defense Minister Paul Hellyer. This is a guy that constantly goes on television in Canada talking about it. He's accusing the governments of concealing the aliens. You know what really pisses people off? When they think I'm some sort of a conspiracy theorist because I talk about chemtrails being dumped on our heads. And then they freak out when I say I don't believe in aliens. No, believe me, I've got filters on, and if you can't see the obvious disparity of everyone in the world having cameras on their phones and no one having an actual picture of an alien that's legitimate, you don't get that? No. Yeah, not to mention GMOs. So when I talk about the dangers of GMOs and chemtrails, oh, you're a whack job. But when I say I don't believe in aliens, oh, what's wrong with you, man? I mean, even Hillary's talking about aliens. The government is pushing an alien agenda, and they have been for some time. The fake reveal of Roswell, the story that there were weather balloons, was all designed to create controversy. I've met people that have actually claimed that they have witnessed the alien artifacts from Roswell. They claim that they can't talk about it because the aliens that they acquired during the Roswell event were not just aliens found on those spaceships. They found human body parts dissected. You're invited for dinner with the aliens, but you are the dinner. Well, all I'm saying is, Frankie, if an alien does exist, it's probably about this size, or no, I know it could be this size. Look at the alien that they allegedly found, Stephen Greer found. A fossil, about 7 inches long, a little bit bigger than your body part. You know what I'm talking about. It's a cookbook, exactly, to serve man. But they found this little creature. This is the only actual legitimate proof that I've seen that aliens exist. And I'm not so sure that's just not a little man with a big head. Some dwarf midget. Here's the proof right there. Stephen Greer had that analyzed, and it came out to have a DNA similar to human. It could be an aborted fetus, yeah. It's a cute little alien dude. Like, hey, I'm the cute little alien dude. Well, this is the only legitimate picture I can say it could very well be a fossil of an alien. This is not a toupee. This is my real hair, you freak. God, man. I can't believe I put up with this constant verbal abuse about my hair every night. You can buy those things at the dollar store? Okay, there you have it. Masterminder. So I'm not the only one who still disbelieves in aliens, although I do believe that chemtrails exist. Oh, but you don't want to talk about them dumping chemicals all over our head. You'd rather talk about aliens. Isn't that convenient? There's ample evidence of chemtrails going on in our world. And you know, it turns out it's industrial waste. The elitists decided they didn't know what to do with industrial waste. They started this project, carbon sequestration. And they put all the carbon they could out of the coal processing into tanks. And they decided they didn't know what to do with it. So they decided just to dump it on your head. This is the thing. No, I don't look tired. I look rested. No. Even our own government at NASA admits to using chemtrails.
Right. There was lithium dispersed, and I'd be happy to talk to you about it. I think you might be under some misconceptions about what we're doing, but I'm happy to tell you any details needed.
Well, I know that it says in your article that you're doing it for communications.
Okay, I'm happy to talk to you more about it. There are many reasons we're doing it.
Okay.
We don't understand how the wind in the upper atmosphere moves.
Mm-hmm.
In these chemtrails, there's different kinds of chemtrails, as you probably know. Different trails at night we use, and different trails during the day. The wind blows them around. They glow either on their own or from scattered sunlight.
All right. Connie sued me many years ago because she felt that she didn't get anything in the will, or enough in the will. It was more of a sour grapes kind of lawsuit. But we settled out of court, and it was completely put, and she apologized and even signed off on it. It was a case of not really getting what she wanted. That was the sum total of it. No, it's not a wig. This is my real hair. I'm pulling on it. You can't do this with a wig. Yeah, I'd like to discuss the creepy Denver airport. A lot of money was wasted on the Denver airport. It has 8 underground shelves of living area, and nobody can talk about it. I have great hair too. Well, her parents didn't include her. She was a recipient of various things in the will, but she didn't get the lion's share of the will. So I took care of my parents till the final days of their life. For 25 years, I was the only child in the family that did all the things my parents wanted to keep their life comfortable. My sister wasn't there. My family members weren't there to help. I was the only one. And in Norwegian families, it's traditional for a father to will the inheritance to one child. It doesn't matter who, but as long as they choose one. I don't have a wig. No, you're coming up with the wrong statement. Stick to the issues, guys. So when they dump chemtrails in our atmosphere, there's ample evidence of this. But you're more interested in seeing images of UFOs.
Of extraterrestrial visitation to Earth. The images, taken by a Navy submarine crew on board the USS Trepang, purport to show numerous extraterrestrial vehicles entering and exiting the ocean. UFO researcher Alex Mistretta claims that the images were originally sent to him by an anonymous source in Europe.
Now, I believe that this very well could be going on. Now, I'm a person who's seen UFOs, you would think that I would be the first person who would believe wholeheartedly in aliens. But the fact is, there's a huge disparity in our society. When I told you that there's so many people with cell phone cameras, yet not one picture of an alien. Our astronauts admit to going to the moon too, but can you prove that they went to the moon? No, you can't. I do believe that there are people who have said they've seen aliens. I have listened to that. But yet we have no pictures. I wonder how many cell phones there are in the world. I really do. Let me just ask my artificial intelligence Google system how many cell phones there are in the world. Now that AI has been integrated into the Google network, it'll be more like Watson when I ask it a question. This is what we have to fear more from artificial intelligence. Watson, how many cell phones are there in the world? I better add tablets. %90 of American adults own a cell phone. Global statistics. Mobile subscribers. There are 5.4 billion mobile subscriptions in the developing world. So 5.4 billion cell phones, and you don't have one single picture of an alien. Oh, what if you did have a picture of an alien and you uploaded it to your Twitter account or your Instagram account? The media wouldn't be able to get that and prevent that from being shown, but yet there's no actual pictures of aliens. And you believe we went to the moon. So you're more likely to believe we went to the moon and that there are hocus pocus boogeyman landing, but you don't have any proof that we even went to the moon. You know that the NASA organization lost all of the videotape they took of their alleged moon landing? JPF, like I said, you have far more to worry about with artificial intelligence than you do anyone from outer space. 5.4 billion cell phones and not one picture. Every cell phone in the world has a camera on it, not one picture of an alien. So out of 5.4 billion cell phones, not one picture of an alien has been produced. Very interesting. But I've seen UFOs. Sarah and I were out walking on the beach, and I saw a huge blimp, and she claims it's not that big. Well, perspective is kind of different. No, seriously, just show me one picture of an alien that's not a fake. Thank you. Here is the one that they developed. That looks pretty real. What do you think, Sarah?
I think that looks pretty real.
It's pretty real. Well, I take it back. There is one picture of an alien. I do say it's fake. Plaster Paris, a little bit of plastic and some spray paint and some Chanel No. 9. Makes it give that gleam. Yeah. It's all in perspective, everybody. Oh, come on. You're full of rationalizations. You got Instagram, you got Twitter. How come nobody at any of these events, like the Bataclan concert,
media.
How come nobody at the Bataclan concert hall showed a picture of the shooting? Nobody in the stadium across the way showed a picture of the players. All we had was that feed coming in. And the players didn't even react when the Paris shooting occurred. I don't believe everything I read. I'm just telling you, I don't believe in aliens until I can actually touch one. Now, you may think you're an alien, but that's not the same. Well, if you heard gunshots, wouldn't you be interrupting your soccer play to go, what the hell? The photo we saw of the shot of the overlay of the audio of the blast that occurred outside of the Bataclan concert hall in Paris, it showed the soccer players continuing to kick their ball and acting like there was no big deal. No, that's ridiculous. That's a lady I met in Mongolia when I was on a tour.
Like somebody getting some kind of plastic
That's
surgery.
bad plastic surgery right there. Passed off as an alien picture. You live in the hillbilly Ozarks and you always hear gunshots? There you go. What does that have to do with what I'm talking about? Well, listen, my biggest fear is not aliens. I really don't fear aliens. My biggest fear is that when I become president, when I'm sleeping, they will replace me with a completely developed robotic president who looks just like me. That's my biggest fear. Or they're going to want to chip me and put an RFID chip in my head. So I have a solemn promise to the American people. When I become president, I will initiate Operation Body Scan, where you will see my internal organs. You'll know more about my health than I do, or as much as I know. You'll see my internal organs. You'll see if I have any RFID chips in my body. And I'll do a body scan regularly, okay? Now, if I ever deviate from that plan, you know I will be replaced. I'm taking myself seriously. So if you can't take me seriously, then you don't understand the dangers of artificial intelligence. Hello, I am President David. You can imagine how that would be. Well, that's not your fear, that's your reality every day. That's why some people are wearing more and more Depends underwear. You know, the Depends underwear is going to be a big, huge selling item in the future.
That's true. I need to invest in that.
Not you. I'm saying people in general. You know, more and more people are going to get older and older and more incontinent and less control over their sphincter. Yeah, I know. You're wearing them right now. I don't wear Depends underwear. Unlike most politicians, I don't have a problem with a leaking sphincter. That's why you can't take me seriously, because I talk about real stuff. Yeah. What other presidential candidate would talk about this? All right. This is the future. Artificial intelligence, AI, unemployment, jobs, Moshe Vardi. Yes, you have to unblock your number to call. I don't take calls from blocked numbers. Well, if Trump is saying it, he's following me in my footsteps. I've been saying that Justice Scalia was murdered. So he's usually 2 days after me. He gets all of his tips from me. He watches our show. Yeah. He's probably at home right now saying, Ivanka, is that show on right now? That David show? I've got to tune it in so I can talk about something. I don't know what to talk about. Thank you. All right, I'll be back. I'll be back.
All right. Have fun doing whatever. I'm here on the show to give David a little break, because it's not easy broadcasting constantly, all the time, every single day, to all of you wonderful people. Yeah, I don't think so. 568. I don't know. I don't think I have call block on. No, 616. No, we don't. Okay, you think so? Well, I'm not really. Do I really want to check that out, B-Master? I kind of don't. I don't know, Potato Girl. Well, it's his show and he can cast whenever he wants, I guess. It's just, I kind of... Our schedules don't always mesh, I'll just say that. Because I'm doing other things every day. I mean, the days that I'm not doing other things, then yes, I'll do that. But certain days, alright, thanks, Master. There's days that, I'm doing other things. I wake up early, I stay up late, and I prefer to wake up early. David prefers to stay up late. I would probably be going to bed early and waking up early. Not as much as I should, 452. No. No, I'm not, JPF. Secretly putting money in, maybe? But no. Yeah, well, I'm not the one that keeps them up all night. It's you that keep them up all night. Unbelievable. Well, you saw me with David? I know there hasn't been a lot of sunshine lately. I like the little heart eyes, 560. Yeah, well, I am what you see is what you get with me. I put forward as much as I can. I don't know, Frankie. I'm not really sure. Oh, no, I'm not doing that. 897. That's what you're referring to. No, if you want to be on the show, you're gonna need to get a regular phone number to call in. David does things all the time. She's definitely not lazy. I don't even know you, Lot Lizard. I mean, I know the name Lot Lizard, but I don't have like a visual image in my mind. No. My hair does get sometimes brighter with sunshine. Okay, JPF. I'm here in Washington State, Stardust. Where are you? Out in Stardust Land? Oh, I said David does stuff all the time. Well, he works around the house and he campaigns, all of those things. No, that's not true, 498. I just don't like getting trolled with people's phones, so. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you agree with a lot of what David says. I used to want to go dancing, but now I think I'm just too old. And then some. 626. And then some. Alright. Yeah, exactly, B-Master. I know. Well, and I don't think David believes in the pre-planted implosives. I mean, I guess he might believe in that. But he believes it was only done a couple weeks before it. Weekly 452. At least we had been. The sexy blonde Sarah left on Halloween. I haven't put that wig on since Halloween. Oh, a secret meeting with Obama hours before? That's interesting, 935. Oh, as your vice president, I will support the Homestead Renewal Plan. I will support education, healthcare, and automation. I know some people don't like automation, but I do like robotics and automation. You're finally following our channel because you saw my expressions. Thank you very much. Ripper. You're getting something from... Oh, but you can't post a link in here unless you sign in, 935. Yeah, I know. It does make sense to have them fall inside their own footprint. I know. I agree with that. Well, that way you can just relax, 1879. That's what I would love. Well, to a degree, JPF, it all depends. I don't think he fears it. I think that it's all in how it's implemented. I don't have any chip installed. David does have pictures of the spraying parts of a plane or spraying out at an airport, something like that. Breaking news: that Scalia had a secret Texas meeting with Obama. I will try to remember to tell him that. Otherwise, you can post it again. Yes, thank you. I will be a logical BP because I have common sense. Yes, that's true. And I'm not in favor of full automation. I mean, humans have to be intelligent to run the machines. There is no queer guy. I think he went to another channel. You're gonna have to go scurry off somewhere to another channel to try to find him. Oh, you love me. Thank you. Well, I would say relaxation. You can elaborate on how you're going to relax. No, 145. He's absolutely against that. The machines will not run humans. I don't believe in that. I believe that humanity is more intelligent. I would like to believe that. Good evening, 854. On the grounds? Oh, I'll have David play a video of it, Frankie, he has some video of a plane that's sitting on the tarmac and it's spraying out something on the tarmac. So I'll have him play a video of it. Oh, thanks, 661. I appreciate that. Well, I'm here for a reason, and that way you can target your troll activity at me, and that way you're not targeting it as someone that has thin skin. I've really developed, that's one thing this show has given me, is like very super thick skin. I remember when I was back in 2008, I was like crying on the phone because I was sad because I didn't like the show. And now I don't even complain about the show. I'm like, I have this stupid thing looking at me. It's disgusting. All right. Anyway. Oh, I'm sure you do. All right. I'm troll proof. But I appreciate that. I really do. Because sometimes, I have to believe. I have to believe I'm in a certain place for a certain reason. Thanks, Albert. No, this is all my real year. Don't take it. I can't take it. Ow, that hurt my head. I think I have a headache now.
From pulling your hair?
I'm pulling my hair to prove I'm not wearing a wig.
Yeah, I have to pull my hair 3 times a show just to... So what are the big red flags in our budget? I mean, I have to say that the military budget and the F-35 is probably the number one red flag in our military budget. The F-35, by the way, did not meet 2 of the critical air-to-air combat tests against the F-16.
Hey, David, do you have that video of the airplane that's like spewing chemicals while it's on the tarmac?
Yeah, I do, but I'm not going to play it for you.
Why not? Frankie's been asking about it.
Yeah. Because I have a large chemtrail...
He's going to have to find it.
I have a chemtrail plane collection. I have chemtrail videos. I have over 150 chemtrail videos.
We're just talking about the one specific one that the plane is like sitting there on the tarmac and fumes are coming out of it.
Yeah. Let me look for it.
Yes, I did say tarmac.
Tarmac.
And some people wonder, well, how
This is
the pilots have to know about the chemicals on the plane.
Yeah, they do.
And
the pilots are told. And by the way, Scissor Fight worked on a crew that repaired jets for many years, and he was told to shut up when he asked questions about what was in the tanks. So we have an actual eyewitness in our show who worked in the industry, and actually was told to shut up when he asked, what are they doing? What's in there?
Frankie's interested in close-up pictures.
Well, this is an interesting proof chemtrails are being used to cover planet Nibiru. That might be interesting to you, frankly.
I don't think Frankie's interested in that.
Oh.
He wants close-up pictures.
Okay. Well, tell you what, while you talk, I'll be working
Thanks
on
for
coming up with
560.
various videos for you to look at.
Okay. All right, that's cool. Oh, yes, and they wanted me to let you know that on Twitter, some people on Twitter are claiming that Supreme Court Justice Scalia had a secret Texas meeting with Obama like the night before.
No kidding, really? Wow. Well, we have had seen accusations that Obama has terminated people before, and there's a lot of accusations, alleged accusations that Obama has actually ordered the death of people. But I mean, unless your name is Al-Waki, it's probably a real reach for us to get proof. I don't have any delusions at all. None. I have no delusions at all. I mean, I'm just an average guy running for president. There's nothing phenomenal about that or nothing bizarre. Let me just pull up some undebunkable chemtrails proof at last.
I'd like to see the debunkers debunk this one. Okay, we've got...
I'm not able to wear contact lenses because of the shape of my eyes.
Yeah. Some people can qualify for contacts. I don't want to ever wear contacts. I have 20/20 vision. I'm very lucky that way. There's no MiG. I'm not wearing a MiG or any kind of an F-35 on my head.
We're not taking call blocking off. No, you can't remain private if you're going to call our show.
Sarah, your eyes are oval. My eyes are oval too. I've never had any psychiatric disorders, ever. If I did present with psychiatric problems, I'd be the first to ask for help. My parents used to work in the, my mother worked in the psychiatric field. So she used to talk about all the different people she met at the crisis center that wanted to commit suicide. It was amazing. I should tell you some of the stories my mother told us about her encounters with mental patients.
How's it working out? Something special?
Pretty amazing stories. I should write that in my book. I'll put my mom's experiences with mental patients in my book.
Okay, have fun with that.
I am. Chemtrails. I'm looking jet spraying carbon. That's just not what you're looking for. You're not looking at diesel dumps, right? Chemtrails in the skies,
I don't know, there was this one video you had and it was just sitting on the tarmac and it was like spraying out.
I remember it. I'm still looking.
That's pretty cool, something special.
Nope, that's not it either. Well, thank you. Very ambitious broadcasting. I'm trying to cover the bases here. Yeah. I do have a chance of being elected. More than you'll ever have of actually reading and spelling English properly. I think I'm more unlikely to get elected president than you'll ever get an education in English grammar and Robert's rules.
Keep up the fine job of casting day in and day out, David.
Excuse me, on the left over here, we have individual.
I'm just untangling my hair.
This is what the chemtrails are doing to our brain, so. All right, that's not really relevant.
You 856?
Yeah, if you do, you should talk about it. You should be talking about your personal addiction to whatever your problem is. This is not really a show to talk about that, though. I mean, you should seek psychiatric help, folks. If you are having some mental problem, ask your doctor. Yeah. Well, I'll go on a quest to find that.
Okay.
Here we are in Los Angeles, California.
Frankie. I remember he showed it to me once.
Yeah, I'm actually looking for another one too. One that has blood being dumped on the atmosphere. They basically sent blood up there, and they dropped red blood in the atmosphere, filled with vaccinations. See, she doesn't believe a thing I'm saying. I know. It's difficult, but slowly but surely we'll penetrate some of the more resistant of doubters here with the truth. I think many of you are beginning to realize the truth. I have a very compelling image that was taken right off the coast of South Australia. Scissor Fight was geocaching the other day, and he pulled up this image of chemtrails. A basic blanket of chemtrails being laid over the sky. Like that, right there. See it? That's pretty compelling. When you see lines of chemtrails, artificial lines literally put across the sky like that. You're going to have to leave the room. I have no need for any psychological help, but thank you anyway. Wow. Many of you don't know the telltale signs of a psychiatric problem. The first sign is you want to do harm to yourself or to others. That's something that I've never had an issue with. The second telltale sign is that you actually like healthy food. That's an extremely disturbing neurosis. It's called atherorexia nervosa. Anybody who likes healthy food is mentally ill. Let me look this up. Hang on. I'm going to copy that image of the alien, too. I don't want to pass that one up. We rarely get pictures that are looking credible of aliens. Hey, I'd love to go and say, yeah, there's definitely aliens, but I don't see any credible pictures of them, so. This is a disease. According to the recent diagnostic mental status exam, this is a specific disease. You're suffering from orthorexia nervosa, an obsession with eating foods that one considers healthy. A medical condition.
When people avoid specific foods
because that they are harmful. So if you're trying to avoid GMO food, you're mentally ill, according to the current diagnostic mental status exam.
You want to avoid the ortho man? You must suffer from orthorexia.
Yeah. Orthorexia, fear of the ortho pesticide man. It includes anything. Anytime you have any type of concern where you want to eat healthy, you see, they want you to eat toxic food. So if you are concerned with your eating habits, that's a mental illness. You need to seek treatment.
No.
Possibly a regime of GMOs and really bad Dorito chips or something. The topic is Wasteful Wednesday, so I'm wasting a little bit of the show on Hillary barking. Let's do this.
No, I'm not going to do that.
It's hilarious. Why do you not want to do things that are funny?
I'm not a funny person.
All right, thanks, Sarah, for coming to the show.
Now you know that.
Now you know why I've had a hard time holding on to the show with Sarah's activity here. She just doesn't want to laugh at anything.
I sometimes laugh at you.
I know, but it just, she doesn't find any of this funny, and she's the one who
laugh at that news reporter thing.
She told me not to talk about conspiracies way back in 2009. And that's all people want to talk about now. It's funny. It's damn funny. Where's that link? I gotta get it back. Thank you, Sarah. That was wonderful, though. I didn't mean to, say you were... I'm just striving desperately to get people to find this show interesting. If I just sat here and talked about my hair the whole show, it wouldn't be funny. The 20 Seconds of Misery. The Hillary barking loop. Okay, let's do it with a backdrop. Let's hit it play again. We actually have some animations for you. Let's bring in a backdrop of music. Okay, let's do that again. I can't stop. This is too good.
Dark Star.
Come on, let's do this. We got to do this obligatory dance anyways. I can't stop.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop,
Can't stop, can't stop.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop.
So let's be clear. In this coming election year, please vote for David.
All right, that was good. Thank you. Free thought, everybody. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, we talked about Obama being chipped the other night. That was fun. We'll keep doing it, man. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Can't stop. No way. Can't stop. So do we have a robotic president or not? He sure seems that way. And then you got that fascist on the right wing, Donald Trump. Oh my God. He's scary. As much as I want to dislike Hillary, I begin listening to Donald Trump misstate what I say. And then I begin to think, wow, Donald Trump didn't get my statement right. He needs to watch our shows again. There's something wrong with his delivery too. So we got that creeping down our backs. I know.
In this coming election, please vote for David on high. America's Third Party.
All right. It's fun though. We have fun on our show, I got to tell you. Very explosive. All right, that was fun. I enjoyed that. So they fit the entire Holy Bible into this little fragment.
Can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight.
But when are they going to come up with an actual solution to the environmental catastrophe happening right now in front of our very eyes. The air pollution problems are not being addressed by the two-party system, yet we can create a biochip or a tiny glass disc that can store 360 terabytes of data for 13.8 billion years. I mean, there's something wrong here. We can't filter one single particle of carbon that's blocking our breathing way. We're breathing crap all the time, all of you are. We've adapted over the many centuries. Our genotypes have somehow dealt with this all the way back to Europe. And in some cases, many of you have come from families that have been smoking, and you wonder why you're smoking. But the reality is, carbon is really biting the human race in its ass. And all we can do is focus on making smaller and smaller chips. It's amazing. It just blows my mind how twisted the priorities of humanity are. Well, the sun's having an effect upon the planet, which we can't control, but we can control how much crap's coming out of your ass. Yeah. Have you noticed that when you eat less, you crap less? Well, similarly, when the human race stops consuming so much, we don't produce so much garbage. I'm telling you, there's a definite correlation between consumption and disposal. Yeah, you get my drift. So let me paint you a few pictures here. This is pretty bleak. That's the future if we don't do anything. This is the future if we do something. Do something versus not do something. Your choice. I do not support Monsanto. I will actually work to stop the GMOs in our diet. Absolutely. We will get the Justice Department to file a lawsuit against Monsanto. I promise you that. And we will use the precedent that the Supreme Court ruled, and thanks to Justice Scalia, they actually passed this. They ruled that you cannot patent a human gene. Thank God. Thank you. We'll use that same exact ruling to say you can't patent an organism made with carbon. If they want to make food out of silicon, that's a different story. Now, National News has an amazing news story about Himalayan salt health benefits. And I would be remiss in not showing this link because Scissorfied has posted it a few times. The purest salt in the world and its numerous benefits, everybody. Now, I've talked to a lot of holistic people that love working with salt like this. Candy Rain does work with salt like this. She has a little business on the side she works with. But this is salt is just sodium chloride and it's all the same, right? Well, no. You use it to add your flavor to your food, and it's actually got many other properties. Himalayan salt, which is often pink in color, has its origins 200 million years ago in the crystallized beds of sea salt. When the Himalayan mountain range formed, these former seabeds were covered with glaciers that later protected the salt from pollution. So yeah. Well, in excess, you can get hardening of the arteries from too much salt in your diet and high blood pressure. That's a common reality that you have to face. But generally, you need about 2,000 milligrams of salt a day to function, right? Am I right? I said I'm right. Yeah, Monsanto has gotten away with too many crimes that have been committed. I agree. I guess 187. Folks, I was a Democrat for 30 years. Don't get me wrong. I understand the mandates that you placed on Barack Obama, and I'm really sad that you believed him. I left the Democratic Party simply because I saw what a liar he is. And if you can't detect lies, you're not doing a good job of being a Democrat. And most of the Democrats are kind of dumb, to be honest. I coined the phrase Democrats now because you're not asking the tough questions. Why has he not followed his mandate? Why are we still at war in Afghanistan? Well, we're at war in Afghanistan to waste tons and tons of money. Yeah, so that the CIA can make tons and tons of money on the sale of opium. Monsanto has never been my friend. I fought Dow Chemical when I was 7 years old in front of a large audience of kids at my school. I would be raising objection to the statements they were making. I've been fighting this campaign of environmental awareness since I was a child. I was influenced by Rachel Carson's Silent Spring, a wonderful book, if you've ever read it, written in 1962, I believe, about the death of the planet due to DDT and pesticides. Yet you still see Dow Chemical and Monsanto dumping crap all over the environment. And the liberals and the conservatives don't do a damn thing. So we are centrists. And I can't get you a hookup here with a woman. You're going to have to do that at your local market. Let me say that the best thing you can do at a local market is to start talking to women in the freezer section. Women innately go to the freezer section because they feel cold. And they want to be near the cold. And what you want to do is warm them up. So start talking about those hot pockets and how dangerous those GMOs are, and get into a conversation, and you might find a person next to you going, really? That's really enlightened. I mean, you're a pretty smart guy. And then you'll have a date. I know, but you're not talking about the right things, man. Try to appeal to their brain. No, I've never seen that, JPF. I don't track porn stars. I don't want to feel powerful. I'm not seeking any kind of megalomaniacal power trip. I'm not a narcissist. I hardly ever look at myself in the mirror. The only time I think I look at myself in the mirror is when you tell me my hair is all screwed up and I have to go in and put some hair gel on it or something. I don't support a ban on gays. In fact, I want everybody to do whatever they want in the privacy of their own sleeping bag or whatever the hell you're sleeping in. What are you sleeping in? How many of you are sleeping on a bare foam mattress with no sheet? I'm writing another book right now, Time Pilot. And right is spelled right, like that. I do not support mandatory vaccinations. Nope. In fact, I'm the only guy out there standing against them that I know of. Did Ted Cruz finally commit on that? Because he said that he didn't want to make that decision. Yeah. It's a parent's choice. And I'm definitely against forced vaccinations. So you can definitely stand by me on that one. I believe vaccinations are dangerous. I'm not narcissistic at all. You know, the thing about a narcissist, they live in a world of fear. I don't have any fears at all. I'm not fearful. Narcissists will bring you into their world of fear. You will become part of their world of fear. I get emails from narcissists all the time. They're saying, oh, the sky's falling. Oh, the world is they're going to take away our rights. The corrupt government's going to seize their individuals. I listen to this stuff and I realize that, yeah, we're up against a huge amount of corruption in our government, but I'm not afraid. I don't want to invite people into my fear because I don't have that much fear. We had a discussion last night about fear. Fear is a motivator. It can motivate you to do bad things. The only thing you have to fear is fear itself. That was the famous FDR speech based on the Library of Congress audio edited copy, which I recited with perfect inflection. The ban on cash is coming. Remember when cash was king? Pretty soon cash will be not even available. They're going to try to get rid of all our money. Some of you are staking away hundreds in your suitcases. I do not support corruption. That's the last thing I would ever say. I'm against corruption. No wig. There is no wig. This is real hair, guys. I should create like a tug-o-meter for you so you could actually tug my hair. You could actually put your little fingers out and tug it. How did you guess? 676 said, what is on the cookie show? Cooking show tomorrow is pork stir fry. I purchased the ingredients today. That is so, you must be psychic. Were you at the market today when I was shopping? I thought I saw you there. Nope, I don't need any interns. We need volunteers in your area to promote AmericasThirdParty.com. We're seeking anybody who can do that from the comfort of their own foam mattress or wherever you're living. Franklin Delano Romanovsky. I support legalization of marijuana, 100%. Let me give you guys a little tutorial on what I do support, okay? Because a lot of you don't have a clue as to what's happening here. We support a homestead renewal plan to help fix up houses in America, and I will not need congressional support to do this because the program already exists. It's called the Home Program at HUD. And I will beef it up with $4 billion initially, and we'll start refixing up houses, renovating them. and building a solar rooftop revolution at the same time. We're going to be rolling out solar rooftops. I'm going to be working with companies like Idaho National Laboratories to develop a rollout solar rooftop like a carpet. It'll be so cheap and so easy to install, you'll wonder, why didn't we do this 20 years ago? That'll augment your electric bill, lowering your cost, and at the same time, we'll get the money from your savings to pay back for the equipment and all the infrastructure. We have an ocean pipeline project to solve the problems with the drought in California. We want to desalinate the water that's outside of the bay in San Francisco and actually pipe it up and down the coastline through the Salad Bowl, providing a tremendous amount of fresh water in California. And this does not in any way is not affected by the vicissitudes of weather change. This is a constant amount of water produced every day, whether it's raining, shining, or anything. It's an evaporation process that can go on in the sun or outside of the sun, either way. And then we have a plan to create a lot of different new startups in our country through hybrid capitalism. Brand new, a handshake with private sector, building free enterprise. We haven't planned an infrastructure bank offering 2% loans. A 2% loan is a pretty good loan to U.S. businesses that only hire U.S. citizens at a living wage of $15 an hour. I'm not reading, I'm reciting from memory, and I'm talking to the chat. I don't read anything in our show except the chat. I liked Princess Diana. I can tell you she was one of my favorite personalities out there. So if you're saying she had a narcissistic personality disorder, I find that very hard to believe. Could you cite one single study that showed that Princess Diana had a narcissistic personality disorder? Listen, Dave, look, listen. You don't need individual policies. You just need to be charismatic and get people stirred up about how bad everything is at the moment. Talk a lot without saying anything. Easy mainstream. Okay, let's do that. Let's drop our policies and all our plans and just focus on mindless expression and talking to the chat room, giving you that personal one-on-one touch that you're looking for from your president. Isn't this wonderful? Thanks for the tip. You like turtles? Nice. You have a lot of mental problems? I'm sorry to hear that. You should seek better counsel. Maybe talk to your pastor. He might be better off than your psychiatrist. He's certainly cheaper. Oh, great. Yeah, the country's screwed up royally. It is in a terrible pickle. We are right now steeping in our own vinegar, having wasted $20 trillion over the past 10 years. The Federal Reserve doesn't have any new answers, and they have no way of sparking the economy. Countries like Japan are now experimenting with negative interest rates. Whoever thought you could borrow money and get money on top of the money you borrow? That's what they're experimenting with. It's not working. There is no startup that can start up an expansionist economy with more credit. And all that they have to go from right now is this idea of extending credit. That's all the Federal Reserve could ever come up with. Because these economists who work there don't really understand how businesses are born. They've never really gotten their fingers dirty. I mean, Ben Bernanke didn't really have any real solutions, and he studied the New Deal. Here's Janet Yellen, the person that replaced him. Listen to this.
Of lower energy prices and inflation.
This woman who's barely able to stand up. I am not in any way gay. This woman who can barely stand up and who's having a problem with her brain. This was her big reveal when she wanted to raise interest rates. And it triggered a downfall in our stock market, a considerable downfall. We've dropped about 1,000 points because of these statements. Check this out.
Lower goal.
Earth to Janet. This is live. Or it was live. Earth to Janet. She's still camera's running.
I expect this to occur as the temporary factors that are currently weighing on inflation wane
an off day.
Provided that economic growth continues to be strong enough.
She is having
to complete the return of the economy to full employment and to
mini seizures. Here it is again. Listen to this. This is a live roll. Janet, hello. We have Twitch. It's strictly for gaming, though. All right, I don't want to bore you with the terrible ineffectiveness of the Federal Reserve. Even Alan Greenspan admitted that he made a philosophical error in judgment when he lowered the prime to near zero. Do you even know what I'm talking about? Don't worry about it. Remember, you don't have to have more than an attention span of 7 seconds to watch this show. This happened about 2 months ago. Janet Yellen was talking in front of a group when she raised interest rates slightly and it triggered a downslide in the economy. She's having mini synapsical aneurysms, yes. I'm not a doctor, I can't tell you. Mini dementia issues, yeah. But when you recognize the fact that they put the future of our nation's economy in the hands of Janet Yellen, you know we're screwed up. And you know that they don't have any solutions. So when I talk about fixing the systemic flaws in our economy, I believe that we can do it. But we have to look at what really makes an economy roll. My carpet rolls of ideas for solar panels are an interesting idea. If produced, we'd have over, 111 million homes in this nation. We could easily put solar panels on even 1 million. That'd be a big start for the economy. Her battery is dying, yeah. Well, the Federal Reserve can't do anything more. And that's why I'm offering to help to retire the charter of the Federal Reserve by 2017. By the end of 2017, we should have a parallel infrastructure bank in place, and we will be able to move toward and migrate toward a more open and free market economy. But bear in mind, my ideas of hybrid capitalism that we wrote about in our book are not in any way focused solely on having the private sector flourish. We actually believe that the government can compete in the private sector. We can actually produce generic medicine, low-cost food items, and we can actually do this as long as we do not have unfair advantage in the free market. Right, I don't have any delusions of grandeur mixed with false belief that I have superiority. No. No, I have a tested IQ of 185, JPF. If I didn't, I wouldn't be standing here talking about it. And beyond that, I don't believe necessarily that I will be president. I'm merely functioning off of a premonition I had when I was a very little, well, I won't even tell you how old I was. So there's no delusion going on here. Most likely, I won't be able to get any mainstream media attention because you people don't matter. And I'm proof of that because I'm an average American. No, I have proof. It's in my Cume folder. I told you that from the very beginning. And everything is in my Cume folder. My SATs, my skipping the 7th grade, my advanced placement test scores, which were at the top. Yeah, I don't know if you can really contest the facts once you open up my Cume folder. You do matter, and I want your votes, but the government doesn't see it that way. The government doesn't want a third party. They'll suppress and censor anyone who tries to get mainstream media attention. I'm only sounding like Donald Trump because Donald Trump has been copying me. I've been doing this for 8 years, and he's just recently started copying me the past 2 years. 5 of my major ideas he's copied. So these aren't false assumptions. I have proof that I've had these ideas for the past 7, 8 years. That's not true, Hathel. No, you cannot achieve mainstream spotlight fairly easily. No, not at all, Hathel. Prove it. I'm not liking any attention. I'm trying to build this nation a much better circle of communication. I can prove that the media has completely rejected all my attempts to get press releases out to them. They even did 25 minutes of interviews in front of my house, and they refused to play them on our local affiliate, ABC affiliate. I didn't get any kind of coverage there either. They've got over 30 minutes of me talking on the issues, and never once did they ever reveal my position on the issues. I've proven in the past 8 years, and I'm moving on to write a book about this, that the democracy, or the sense of democracy, is dead in America. And the Democrats are the least democratic of all. These people have absolutely no interest in new ideas. They simply want to side with corporate control and the oligarchy, the corporatocracy that's taken over our nation. You don't understand. Trump is the guy they stuck in there because he's the guy that took out loans from the Federal Reserve in order to finance his bankruptcies. He is their stump puppet. I'm not. You don't realize, but democracy is an illusion. You are not living in a democracy. Our country is far from a democracy. In fact, every time I spoke up at Democratic meetings, they told me to shut up. I have run for a local office, and they've stole 90% of my signs. I've proven it. I've gone over the top, reaching out, doing a local campaign, a national campaign, and proven that our nation is suppressing any freedom of choice and any American that wants to step out and talk about the issues. Let me ask you a simple question. Why is it there's only 35 people on the media, still to this day? Michael Savage, Bill O'Reilly, Rush Limbaugh, all these people comprise about 35 people. They're the same people that were here 7 years ago when Obama got elected. Why is it we only have 35 people talking about the issues? Because we have censorship, that's why. And the reality is our country is not listening to its people. And if we wanted to listen to our people, we'd have a much better nation. Our politics would be vibrant and interesting. Instead, we've got a bunch of old guard cronies sitting there in Congress doing nothing. They're veritable prostitutes. They're sitting there, all they want is their re-election funds, and they'll do whatever the corporations tell them to do. No, I didn't drop out of college. I left in good standing. I left as an honor student. Trump said on TV he's never been bankrupt. He's never been personally bankrupt because he's been bailed out by the Fed. He has 4 corporate bankruptcies to his name. And he screwed a lot of people over during those bankruptcies. My family's one of them. My mother invested in Resorts International, one of his first. And she had a small inheritance and she put it into Resorts International and got hosed to the tune of about 10 grand. Trump built his legacy on screwing people over. No, I don't believe in college, JPF. I'm not an indoctrinated puppet. You wouldn't get a person like me talking every night endlessly, trying to reach out to the inner core of your brain and wake you up if I had been indoctrinated by college. College weeds people out so that you cannot possibly have this type of a free thought mechanism or an independent idea. I'm an iconoclast. I don't fit in the college model. Never did. And I'm not a racist. I've never said a racial slur in my life. Many of you have been indoctrinated in the public school system. That's a serious problem. And I don't want to make public school bad. I want to make it so that many of you can be homeschooled. Parents that don't want to put vaccinations in their kids shouldn't have to. Every state should offer homeschooling in this nation. There's no reason why the Department of Energy can't offer a guideline for that and a pathway to a GED. And I will make that happen, I promise you. I will also offer 6-week to 6-month certification courses at our local community colleges tied to local business. Create a partnership, a handshake with local business so you know you'll get a job when you graduate with a B average. And it won't be a C plus average that gets you through in the future. It'll be a B average or above. We're not going to let people who are just kind of sliding by become corporate or even work in industry. We want you to actually be the best or near to the best at what you do. It's not shrewd to take all of your dad's money and parlay it into more money by borrowing more money and making promises to the Federal Reserve. Trump is owned by the Fed. He will never end the Fed. Ever. I want to bring our troops home and end the Federal Reserve. And I used to wonder why I put those things together. But you know, all wars are bankers' wars. And the Fed is basically the arm to the World Bank that basically owns our nation. They control the flow of cash. And that's not right. We don't need a private central bank. So ending the Fed and getting our troops home go hand in hand. Guarding our border, building that 1,000-mile fence, not some ridiculous wall that, I mean, the only brick that Donald Trump laid was in the toilet. He doesn't know how to lay brick. And then, of course, we have new renewable energy solutions that'll revolutionize the way we look at energy. And on Thursday, we talk about that tomorrow. We'll be talking about my idea of a vertical windmill on all of our electric poles around the country. Again, you keep groping at questions about psychology, I'm going to ban you. JPF, this is your last ban warning, okay? You will be banned permanently from the show. I have no history of mental illness. I've never presented with any psychiatric problems, and I would really like you to just drop that subject real quick. Thanks. Yeah, this Trump basically has no ideas except the ones he stole from me. And I think that's pretty insane that he missed my idea of no refugees. And he went out attacking Muslims. Never had any problems, no. I'm a very content and happy person. Most people don't get this content at an early age in life. I retired at the age of 50. That's what I'm a really good planner. I'm a fiscal conservative, so I'm incredibly efficient and frugal with everything I do. Even when I go to the market, I make sure that every place along the way is on the way, and I go to those places. I don't waste time driving far off to one place and then back. I mean, everything's efficient in my life, even the gas I burn. I'm not seeking attention. No, this was an inevitability. This was a requirement for me to do a broadcast because I don't have any other way to run for president except through this channel. And originally it was Blog TV, and then they went under. They were bought out for a ridiculously low price. I am absolutely mentally stable. Oh, of course. And what's really concerning me is you are not. Most of you are suffering from a tremendous amount of neurosis, diagnosable psychotic ideation. Many of you think that you could be like Harry Potter because you were raised to believe that you have special powers. You've been trained to be psychotic, just watching television. So I'm more concerned about you than obviously myself, because I'm not suffering from those delusions. I don't compete with anybody on this network. This is nothing to me. I would welcome any one of you to run for president. I seriously want more competition. I don't mind. I'm not in competition with anybody on this network, that's for sure. I have other networks I'm broadcasting on, and they're multicasting me right now. I'm just not responding to the chat over there. And they're a little pissed. I'm giving this network most of my time, but in a couple months, I may be shifting gears to another network, but still listening to your chat here. You're not that important in the big lexicon of media out there that's growing. There's so many competitors now, besides the network you guys are chatting on. It's almost ridiculous. Yeah, follow me anywhere. And if you want to know where we are at Third Party. Now, look at this idea I came up with tonight. It's called motel sex. Yeah. It's a model for motels around the country to offer a waiver for you to have a visit for free. A stay over in a motel room for free. Imagine that. Would any of you be willing to sign a waiver on anyone videotaping you in your room and in your bathroom? Because some of you are that perverted that you'd want to watch people at a motel. And then you get a free room. Would you go for it? Yeah, I mean, it's just an option. You don't have to pay anything. It would be a free motel room. I'm just running this through, doing a check to see what the response in the room is. So you're driving along the road, you're with your wife, and you're saying, honey, I know I can sleep in my underwear. We really don't have a lot of money. I can't afford one of those Trump Plaza hotel rooms. They're $600 a night. Now, I wouldn't do it, personally. But I mean, many of you are going to be strapped for cash pretty soon, and you may want to stay at a free motel. Would you be willing to give up all of your privacy and sign a waiver and have it broadcast on a porno site? Anyone? Thank you. All right, I just want I'd throw it out there. Apparently nobody has the balls to tell the truth here. Never had a drug problem, never sold drugs, never was in a drug-related incident. Okay, thank you. I wanted to test how seriously puritanical our room was. Many of you have never masturbated, or if you do masturbate, it's probably in private. Well, I said it was $0. That was the plan. Zero. You'd go up to the motel and you'd sign a waiver saying you'd just be willing to they could photograph you. Would you stay for free? I've never done anything like that. Don't have any medication issues because I'm not in any way problematic. I'm not gravely mentally ill. That's funny. Wow. So you think people are mentally ill when they're happy? Wow. That's really sad. Hey, you know something? I think we're going to go ahead and turn guest chat off. Because these people that come in the chat room, they don't really have anything to say. All they can talk about is whatever the newest thing on 4chan is to pick on me with. They're either, Dave, you're gay, or Dave, you're mentally ill. It's absolutely insane how you people operate. So you don't have the right to come into our chat room. We have supporters here who are serious about the country and don't want to talk about motel sex. Okay? Thank you. And forget I even mentioned the idea. It was just an idea, Hathel. It was just an idea to throw out there to see how many people were really paying attention. All right. Okay. We're going to remove the Rodney character from the show. He comes in under different names all the time. And Trump doesn't have any new ideas. That's his number one problem. And because he's borrowing our ideas on a daily basis. Plus, let me remind you this. We've had Barack Obama. He's divided the nation. We don't need another divider. Trump would piss off the left big time. We need a uniter. And I want all of you to remember that. I'm in the middle of the political spectrum. I'm willing to compromise. I'm willing to form a unified solution-based administration. There'll be people from the left and the right in my administration. I promise you that. I'm a uniter, not a divider. Trump's a divider. Obama's a divider. Here's an idea. I'm going to purge what you just said because it's irrelevant. All right? I have a great haircut. My late teens and early 20s were about dedication. Dedication to my goal of getting into an Ivy League college in my late teens and being turned down by 5 major universities. Actually, 4 major universities. I was number 1 in my class of 770 students at a high school. That's in the record too. I was number 1 at a 4.0. And we're not buds, dude. And I had high SATs, but I was a victim of affirmative action. So that was the late teens. Early 20s was about building small businesses and encountering an unbelievable tragedy and doing my best to help a person out who was suffering from cancer. I can honestly say I dedicated my early 20s to helping a couple that were suffering a great deal. She was dying of cancer. And I gave a huge amount of free time to this couple. They happened to be my employers at the time, but they were under siege. They were absolutely under siege. They were being billed by oncologists for surgeries that cost $250,000. And I sat there talking to them and spending my time helping them, bringing them money just to eat. So it's almost like I dedicated my 20s to a completely benevolent goal. That much I can say. But I'm a very benevolent person, so I don't mind giving a chunk of my life to a project. Now, this project is in its 10th year now. I started in 2005 with the creation of the Cool Rock Party. Really, I'm serious. In 2005, I started the Cool Rock Party, and we still have coolrock.com, which is a cool website you can look at. But this is the deal. I don't in any way believe that any of this is wasted. I believe that I'm building consensus. And this 10-year period of migrating from Cool Rock Party in 2008 to America's Third Party, and now running the campaign now for 7 years, is in no way a waste, because I'm building on this. And from this, I will actually glean enough information to write a book about this, which I'm in the process of doing. But I'm also developing another series of ideas for renewable energy technology that will be applicable to our houses and our homes. I'm making solutions that people can buy on the internet, which I'll be spending another 10 years doing. But that's a separate subject. But we'll be running this campaign all the way through and continuing the nightly show past the election, because I'm really into building a third party, even if we move into the 2020 election. But I'm not committed to 2020 yet. I haven't decided whether I'm going to run in 2020. I'll make that decision in 2019. But the problem is, we are looking at a meltdown in our economy. And I prophesized this was happening back in 2010. I wrote voluminous amounts of blogs on this. We talked on our Countdown to Economic Collapse, a nightly video that's still on the air. I predicted the breakdown in the fabric of our economy. And when you hear from zerohedge.com that the ban on cash is coming soon, you know that something is really, really concerned. No, I haven't had any media time. I'm not conceding anything. All I need is 1 minute of media time on the mainstream media to get my word and my message out there to the American people. I've had no media time. I've been censored. So I'm not giving up, and I'm not conceding this election. No. This could very well go my way. I'm hoping to become president in 2016, 2017. I don't believe we can afford any other person for president. You've got Donald Trump sounding like a fascist Hitler-type person, which is concerning me that he, in his deposition from Ivana Trump, she said that he read Hitler's speeches next to his bed every night. Good night, Shart. Sleep well. Shart's smart. He's going to bed early. Polls don't have me. I don't think you get it, Potato Girl. Nobody is talking about a third party because the country is censored. Yes, I have watched the interview with Elon Musk about AI. He's dedicated $18 million to solving the AI puzzle. I don't agree with Stephen Hawking on the issues of leaving the planet. And I believe that the simple solution to the problem with the AI, there's a simple solution. And it hasn't even been broached in the media, but I'd be glad to tell you what the simple solution is with AI. If we could just stop, that would be great. But unfortunately, the energy that goes into AI is plugged in. And as they developed artificial intelligence, they have kept artificial intelligence connected to its energy supply. All we have to do is separate it from its energy supply, and we can get control, and absolute control over AI. But we have to create a separate energy loop for AI. They can't just be connected. And right now they're connected. So we won't stop, and we can't stop.
Can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop.
It won't stop.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on.
Okay, the momentum to ban cash, and particularly high denomination notes like the 500 euro and the $100 bills, is seriously picking up steam.
In this coming election,
this is startling and becoming very real. Cash should be king, right?
For president.
Can't stop, can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it
Look at all these alien pictures. Wow. This little alien 7 inches long. Kind of cute. It looks a little like me. You see the resemblance?
First we hit 'em low, then we hit 'em high. Underrated, but we made it to the finish line. Rhymes designed to combine and intertwine. Spring to the summer, fall, even winter time. Beats banging harder, then head on collisions. We make incisions with precision and quick decisions. Causing double visions if you ain't up to speed. You need to speed it up, partner. Piano read.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight.
Can't stop. Oh yeah. The future. If we don't do anything to stop the two parties.
We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop.
In this coming election, please vote for David Spawn High. America's Third Party.
So people are finally waking up to what's happening. People like Bubbles. Bubbles, yeah. Okay, so how do we stimulate growth in our economy? Obviously, creativity would be great if we could just create things, but as you can see, Americans have been led to believe that we're kind of unable to do anything. Our leaders have neglected to teach you how to do a lot of development in robotics. So I will encourage robotics kits at the early age of 4th, 5th grade. Every school will get a kit to teach robotics, kind of like the Lego leagues they have now for kids. Singing to stimulate the economy will help. Legalizing marijuana will open up the opportunity to create medicinals, edibles, all kinds of great products that are derived from marijuana. And it'll open up the production of hempoline, which I think could very well revolutionize our country. Hempoline is one of those things that could actually provide a tremendous amount of low-cost fuel for truckers. Excuse me. I have no news on the S10. No. I don't make fun of disabled people.
AIT, as in Tom. Potato Girl.
So we're talking about a new creative force in America that can actually produce new technologies that has never been explored because the people that are currently working on these projects often outsource and are run by venture capitalists. Case in point, Solyndra. Solyndra was a solar manufacturing company in America that got $530 million from our government, and they took it and they ran with it. I would like to introduce you to Sarah, my vice presidential candidate.
I'm here.
She was formerly known as Sarah, but now she's Sarah with an H. Sarah. Sarah. We're all having fun tonight. I'm going to look for your ginger because I think I may have something. I may be coming down with something. I had a little weirdness. Okay. Your bag? Okay.
Lunchbox.
All right, I'll pick it up. Ginger is supposed to be really good for you, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, the
Taking
Explorist.
Let me bring this up.
It's official. David is running for president.
Yes. You know, we had a lot of people coming into the show tonight accusing me of being mentally ill, and I have no history of mental illness whatsoever.
No.
And I don't have any feelings of suicidal nature or anger toward others. I don't hold grudges. I mean, I'm the most well-adjusted person you'll ever meet. I consider myself super sane. It's a lovely necklace. Yes, I'll be right back.
But is this the
That's
alien
a 7-inch
before
alien.
Before it died?
I don't know. It's an alien. Got me.
That was very weird. Oh, thank you, JPF. Capt Sano. Everybody believes they're sane, correct? I'm sane. You're sane. Insane in the membrane. Going insane. Got no brain. Do you remember that song? It's from the 1990s-ish, late 90s. I forgot who sang it. I know, exactly, Hathel. It's just like some people naturally respond. It's a defense mechanism. No, never, Explorers, never. Yes, Cypress Hill, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Hathel. Alright. I don't do any of that. Results may vary. No bongs for Sarah. Sarah doesn't need that. Sarah's just chilling without any of those drugs needed to chill. I don't need to do any of that. Alright, I'm gonna just braid my hair. I never did. Never inhaled. No, not anymore. Like, never. Never inhaled, never will inhale, never was going to inhale. No, I was never a long haul driver, truck driver. My dad was at one point, and I suppose I've been on some long haul truck drives once when my mom was pregnant with me and my dad was still a long haul truck driver. And I once went on a small haul. I don't know if it would be considered that long. It was from one state to another. I suppose that could be considered a long haul. So I've driven across country with David more times than I can count. I really can't remember how many times, but it was a lot. And yeah, so there you go. Your brother just became a long haul truck driver and he turned 24. No, I enjoyed my trips with David. Passed his test last month. Fantastic. Yeah, we need truck drivers. We need farmers first, truck drivers second, and production people third. How about that? Like that little braid? Thanks, Laura. I've been braiding my hair quite a bit lately, but all I know is like the traditional braid. I don't know like those fancy waterfall braids and all that. I mean, I've seen them done, but I don't know if my hands work that way. I mean, I could do it probably on someone else's hair, but on my own hair, my arms get tired. I know. Oh, maybe. I don't know. That would be a good place to invest, though, in the self-driving trucks, long-haul trucks. That's actually a pretty good idea. As long as they can avoid pitfalls and things like that. That actually would be interesting. Yes, French braiding is hard on the arms. It's like holding your arms up here for so long. I just get tired. I can do it on someone else's hair, but yeah, we'll have to get together and you can French braid my hair and I'll French braid your hair. I don't have brats. I have people who want to learn. How about that? I know, it's pretty amazing, Hathel. I find all that kind of technology pretty cool. I like tech. I'm a tech, what is that? I'm kind of like, you know, how they have groupies. I'm a techie groupie. That's kind of how I am. Did I pull you out of your depression with this hair, Big Anton? I bet I did. I know. That's pretty awesome. Well, the thing is that they would have to be well maintained. That's true. Bubble E. But I think that brake lines are not very likely to go out on those self-driving trucks. I was true, everything does break, but I would say I still say that it's a possibility. All right, you asked David a question. Now you want to know my answer to that question because you realize that we're not always in agreement. Most of the time we are. 85.2% of the time. No, I do, just like however many statistics are made up on the spot, including this one. All right, so you have to re-ask the question in order for me to answer it. Admiral, what's wrong with you? Why are you using that foul language? Okay, I don't know what that means. Call me Fitz, but have fun with that. How about that? Thank you. Thank you, Admiral, for apologizing. I'm glad you see it's not nice to have foul language. Now it's just going to sit on my screen for like a long time. Admiral, I'm going to purge it just so I don't have to look at it, but then we'll move on. Have I seen the interview with Elon Musk about how AI is the largest existential threat to humanity? I have heard about I don't know if I've actually watched the video, but I have heard him speak of that. Meaning I've read about it instead of watching a video. Also, other great living minds, including Hawken, has agreed that if we get true AI, it could destroy us directly or even indirectly. That's more of a statement rather than a question, but I would say that the issue with true AI at this point in our technological evolution is that most of the AI research is being done via the Department of Defenses, and so all of this intellectual research is happening with all of these things that can kill and are designed to kill and make killing more routine, and so that's not very good. It is a fascinating subject at the moment in the tech world. I am more in favor of technological revolutions that can help us learn. Yes, I will look into his work. It does make me think. I saw this really cool thing I was going to show some people, which was I'm not going to look at that, Potato Girl. Anyway, I was looking at CNN and it was about Elon Musk and different things, and they had this thing about artificial intelligence. It was pretty cool. I might have to look at that again. Oh. Yeah, I know what a GoFundMe page is, and I understand about people raising money for causes, but I'm not going to actually visit that particular person's GoFundMe site. I mean, I didn't post. I won't purge the fact that you posted it, but I'm not going to visit it. Okay, Beekman, if you say so. Yeah, well, it's probably just a couple of people that aren't going to actually give the money to Kanye. But have a GoFundMe, so anyway.
You're not allowed to have a GoFundMe page for a political party or a political candidate. They're not allowed. It specifically says in the bylaws. We don't get hardly any donations, and there's a donation button at the top of your page. So if you say people will fund anything, I find that hard to believe. No thoughts at all. Kanye is a establishment character. Many people accuse him of being Illuminati. That alone will derail his candidacy. Many of you don't realize what this entails. You know, when you challenge the two-party system without any money, it involves a tremendous amount of persistence. Now, Sarah and I are very committed people to what we're doing, and we would not in any way fold because we didn't get any donations. But by the same token, without donations, we can't buy cable TV spots, and we can't spread the word against the censorship that is happening about a third party. I know because I can read your brain, Bubble a douche. Yeah. Even by your name, I can tell you a lot about who you are and what happened to you. And it happened, a 28-year-old woman screwed you over, dumped you. And I can just read that from your name. And you know I'm right. Venezuela devalues currency by 37%. Yeah. Venezuela is a socialist nation, and a lot of you brag about all the socialist ideas of Bernie Sanders. Look what's happening in Venezuela right now. Their currency devalued by 37%. Excuse me, did I say 28-year-old woman dumped you? I meant you were married for 27 years and you're coming up on a 28th year marriage, which could be, troublesome. I don't want kids because I don't want to bring kids into a polluted world that you are part of. You're the reason, in a way, that the world is polluted. A lot of you are mindless consumers, and all you care about is achieving the next luxury item on the list of TV items that you've been programmed to read or believe. The problem is that people don't realize that socialism is not an answer, that it's actually taxing the working man to pay for the non-working man. This show's already on multiple networks. We are broadcast and rebroadcast across the globe right now, in case you didn't know. I can only see a small chat room here, but there are many other chat rooms discussing us as we speak. Well, if you're an idiot, then you really shouldn't breed. Yeah. Sounds like you may have bred already. Well, the fact that people are intelligent enough to not have children because they don't want to bring children into a world that's completely polluted. And with corporate greed so great and the inequality of wealth so great that they realize they're bringing their kids into a trap. I would urge you to enjoy your life. If you want to have children, definitely. But you got to want to have children. You've got to really want to raise those children. Because being a parent, from what I gather, because I haven't been one, I've seen parents, is really, really tough. You guys are doing a good work at having children in this day and age. Okay, the Google CEO definitely agrees with Apple on the issue of encryption and how the FBI wants to break the phones of the iPhones and all the Apple products that have encryption plans. The Google CEO has finally chimed in on that. Yeah, cool. Or at least he made a comment. What part of Pakistan was he from? I forget. You know, many people don't realize that a lot of the corporations have already outsourced a lot of their labor completely to foreign nations. You know, when Bill Gates was looking for George W. Bush to offer 3,000 visas to immigrant Pakistanis and Indians from India to do programming at Microsoft, George Bush turned him down, by the way. But he didn't really care about our students who are graduating top honors in math and science and aren't getting any support at all from Microsoft. He basically turned his back on our students here and wanted to go outsource cheaper labor. It shows you the mindset of the corporate greedy, corporate pig mentality like Donald Trump has. It's the corporate pig mentality that has led our nation astray and forced us without jobs, left people without a career, has left an open, gaping hole in our nation's economy. And the two parties are not going to map their way out of this one because they caused it. And you need to realize that now, because there's not a lot of time left. I don't know if it's effective to raise my voice or not. Okay, it's been stopped. They stopped the methane leak in Aliso Canyon. Good. Methane leak officially has been stopped. Good. But radioactive fallout is going to be the predictable result. Take a look.
Well, the thing is, Beekman, that even Apple, traditionally Apple can't hack into that phone. If you look at what Apple posted, apple.com/customer letter, you'll see that Apple has complied with everything that they possibly can in the San Bernardino case and in any other case where the government has sought information that Apple has access to. What the government is now asking them to do is create an insecure iOS. No, they don't currently have the technology to unlock the phone. No, they don't. And the way that their technology is currently set up, if someone tries a certain number of attempts to unlock the phone, then all of the data will be erased. What they want, what the FBI wants, is the FBI wants them to create a totally different iOS that the government can try as many attempts as they want until they actually brute force unlock the phone. Well, Beekman, software does not remain internal. That's Apple's entire point. It doesn't matter if you create it and you think you're gonna only use it once, which is what the FBI claims. They don't understand the concept that once it's out there, once it's created, it will be used, and once something like that exists, it can be hacked, and then all of the hackers are going to use it to get your data. Your data. Do you want someone coming after your information? That's what it's about. I mean, I'm not in favor of whatever this person had on their phone, but I would say people have a right to privacy. It's in our Constitution.
Well, maybe you're a Nazi who like Goering, who said, if you have nothing to fear, you have nothing to hide.
I'm not hiding anything, but if someone wants to, that should be perfectly within their rights.
Yeah.
Just like I don't smoke marijuana, but I believe that it should be legal, because if someone wants to do something to their body, it should be perfectly within their rights.
Yeah.
And just because I choose not to use encrypted data doesn't mean that other people that want to use encrypted data shouldn't be allowed to.
Right. Now, I have limits
I completely disagree with you, Beekman.
Yeah.
Completely.
We actually want to offer a... Broke Kanye West is asking Zuckerberg for $1 billion. And fans are starting a GoFundMe page for Kanye. Wow. Can you believe these people are trying to profit from their fame now? On top of it, with a GoFundMe page. Gold digger. Gold digger. That sounds like a really good James Bond movie.
I like you too, Beekman. I totally do, but I just disagree with the issue about that. And Potato Girl, no. The woman you're saying would decrypt it so fast, she'll do the 5 attempts to get in, and then the data's done.
And on top of it, according to reports, Kanye is broke. Worse than broke, actually. He's in some $53 million in debt. Presumably spent on furs, cars, and booty Botox for his wife Kim Kardashian. But just 5 hours ago, in fact, the clan announced that they are adding $20,000 worth of flooring and sparing at no expense on their new home. So yeah, you got a real dual world here. It would be news if we could get a hold of the inequality, but we can't. The fact is, our country is ever more unequal than ever before. And we're never going to get ahead of it with the existing paradigm, the two-party system. These people are never going to give you any money. Obama didn't give you any money unless you were collecting unemployment, nursing off those 99 weeks of extensions that he gave. But some people made like $45,000 on Obama. But most of us will never ever see a dollar. And that's because the two parties don't give a crap about you. They won't give you any startup capital like our microloan program. They won't give you any opportunity to businesses to grow in America. They just want to outsource everything. We're being run by prostitutes. Our prostitutes are called politicians. And I'm not one of them. Yeah, up to 45 grand on unemployment extensions. Obama gave certain key individuals. Maybe you're one of them. You know, the number of people collecting welfare in our budget has dramatically increased since the unemployment stopped with Obamacare, right? Excuse me, with Obama's 24-week advanced to 99-week of unemployment benefits. When it went back to 24 weeks, now people are collecting for welfare benefits.
Well, you're thinking that the increase of welfare is due to that unemployment drop-off, but it might also be due to the increased refugees in our country.
That's true, too.
Because states are required to give every refugee that comes into their state welfare if they apply for it and don't have the actual income. Anyway,
refugees get it.
Yes, refugees is automatic because basically, and if states are like, oh well, I'm not going to give it to a refugee. If states say that, then they're cut off from any federal funding regarding their welfare.
Now, there is a growing number of people who have nervous mental problems because they haven't been able to find a job. You know, they got 99 weeks of extensions and then they weren't able to find a job, so they developed nervous mental problems and then qualified for welfare then. So now we're picking up the slack on welfare. So some of those people are still collecting. All right, jaw-dropping prediction. Silver will head towards $400 price per ounce. A panic-gripped global financial market and stocks collapsed after the new year. Investors around the world began to shift capital.
I don't believe this website.
I don't either. I agree. We don't buy that crap, you know.
My point exactly, Explorers. I do not believe that at all.
Many of you are just going to eat your words
when
the silver goes
are
way up.
Great to look at as a source of, right.
Yeah, look at what the stock market did today, Sarah. Up 257 points. I mean... Hello! Get your links correct here. Silver's not going to be continuing to grow when the stock market grows. I am a doomsday prepper.
And you know, that's perfectly fine. Like I told David, for the longest time, David and I have an agreement. Or an understanding, I should say.
Yes.
David is going to prepare for the worst.
Yes.
Like if the whole world collapses, David will be prepared.
That's right.
And I will be prepared for the status quo.
Sarah's working on the status quo. I'm working on the end of times doomsday prepping. Now, I prepped Sarah's car. It's a high mileage car. She could get about 50 miles per gallon if we have a shortage of energy. And let me show you what I have here. We have a fence we're building. And the fence idea I came up with in 2008. So don't even go there. A wall cannot be built in a short period of time. Donald Trump doesn't even know what he's talking about. Honestly, he has no clue. Take a look at the car I bought Sarah, and I have one just like it. We're so into economizing that we want to prepare, and what I did was I stocked her car with, her trunk has a 2-week pack in it. I filled that little trunk up behind there with a 2-week pack of survival stuff. So if she was ever stranded anywhere, she could last 2 weeks.
They're all going to look at cars like that. Oh, there's a car to go after. She's got 2 weeks to survive.
Yeah, right. They won't be able to find you. You'll be in your camouflage gear in the middle of the forest.
There you go.
We're going to build a camouflage tent for the car so we can just sleep in it.
There's a little thing on it. It's a skirt. Anyway, the wheel covering on the back pops off.
Yeah.
To change the back tire.
It's a pretty cool car, I must say. We bought it. They're 15 years old now. Both of them are. Mine is 15. Mine's 16. Yours is 15.
Yeah, something like that.
Hers is a 2001. Mine's a 2000. But we love it. I keep it waxed, and they're great. They're really efficient vehicles, and they're perfect for 2 people and the kitty if we want to go anywhere. Great. Well, I'm glad that we've had a chance to talk about some tough subjects tonight. We haven't talked about our national composting plan because that's about getting dirty, getting your hands in the dirt, improving the soil, getting victory gardens going around the country. You know, in Europe, victory gardens are way more prevalent than here. And people are canning over there. So we have to become a more sustainable nation. So I'm going to encourage that, not make it mandatory, But you're going to be able to buy low-cost fertilizer in your local area at the National Composting Plant. Many of you may want to work at their plant, make $15 an hour working at the compost system. We're going to be working, of course, with hempoline, which will be turned into a diesel product called green diesel, which will save the truckers about $1 per gallon. That's another idea we have. But National Composting Plant is a way to save on the amount of food waste that currently goes in the garbage. Right now, 50% of all food coming into the country is ending up in landfills, and that's got to be dealt with. No more talk. The Democrats and Republicans have had enough time. We have got to make this nation green again. I'm tired of their cap and trade BS monopoly plan. We're going to innovate. We're going to get smokestacks to filter and loop carbon. In fact, let me show you our new t-shirt we have. At our t-shirt site, let me give you a site tour, folks, because I oftentimes forget to do this, and I don't want to forget that. We have a website, AmericasThirdParty.com, in which you can actually download the poster to get me elected and join the voter revolt. This poster is only $1 to print, something this size. $2 if you want to make it 11 by 17 on cardstock.
I do uncrystallized ginger from Trader Joe's.
But this is also our site. You can check our platform out here. You go to our store or donate. We feature our show, which is not being broadcast. No, we lost the broadcast, and I don't know what happened.
I don't know.
Chat rooms, competitive chat rooms. So let's go to our store.
I think that Apple is not, it's not about protecting bad people. I think it's about protecting privacy. Trip to the universe. That's what I personally believe.
Yeah, I put a new shirt out there called Loop Carbon, in case you want to, get into the new third party thing. We support the idea of looping carbon, which is revolutionary, and I believe it's totally possible. This is not cap and trade. This is actual innovation that could very well bring carbon back into the loop and solve the environmental crisis we're facing right now. It also involves filtration and a lot of other things. Imagine driving down the road in a car, even your car right now, and plugging a device into your cigarette lighter that's made by our government with replaceable disposable packs that filter all of the pollution out of the inside of your car. Now, if you're running with your air conditioning on and your windows are up and you're running a filter like that, you're going to really thank me for that, because that's one of the ideas I'm going to be rolling out next year for our show. We're going to be talking about brand new renewable energy solutions, green, clean technologies that will actually save us our lungs, our bodies, cleaning the air and the water. And that's something I'm really excited about.
Why do you feel all this grief, Hathel? Well, that's David's voice has always said that to the establishment. Just my thoughts. Where I like David saying this, focusing on what he's going to do better. That's actually my influence over David.
Yeah, I've actually been bringing up. I'm more of an attack the status quo guy.
Yes,
I totally am.
Mm-hmm.
But Sarah's more about just talking about positive ways we're going to fix the country. We wrote a book together, and the book is called Hybrid Capitalism. It too is available at our website for only $1 download, if you guys want to read it. But it's all about saving the nation and building a new system that will be efficient, where we can get a return on investment.
Have you actually read the letter from Apple.com, Trip to the Universe? I think I should go back to that and pull it up for everyone.
Okay. All right, let's pull that letter up. Let me release this.
Okay, well, I would like you to go in and read the letter, and if your opinion doesn't change, that's perfectly fine, because I just want you to read the letter that Apple put out there directly before you make your final decision, because it quite clearly states they have complied up to this point. They have done everything that they can, in fact offering their technical expertise and technical experts to help with issues related to this case. So it's more than just one issue. And so I know I really believe that they write. Tim Cook has written an excellent letter, and until you have actually read his perspective, I don't really think that I don't think that you have the entire picture. So I'm going to give you this link. There you go. Click on that link, and once you read that link, if you still feel the way you do, I really believe you should read that. I mean, it talks about smartphones. It talks about how in the letter he actually talks about, of course, they were shocked and outraged by the act of terrorism in San Bernardino, and they have great respect for the professionals at the FBI. And they have actually, they just simply consider what the FBI is currently asking them to do too dangerous. It actually creates more danger than it prevents.
I agree. Without a safety net for privacy, and the NSA is basically saying they want to have access to everybody's personal files.
Pardon?
No privacy whatsoever.
Wait, what? Can you repeat what you just said? I don't think that's exactly accurate.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm asking you to repeat what you just said.
All right. Yeah, basically, I was just clarifying to Sarah that this is a real intrusion on our privacy. Carbon is a pollution-based problem, and looping carbon is essential to cleaning the air. Anyone who disagrees with that is just absolutely lost. As far as censorship is concerned, I am against censorship. I don't want you to basically be told that you don't have a private life.
Absolutely.
So we want to open up to the discussion that the NSA is trying to look into every corner of our lives. We don't want that.
I would say yes, and what the FBI is requesting of Apple would make it even more, even easier for the NSA to look into every corner of your life.
Yeah, and that's the underlying result. That's the underlying result of them trying to break every code, every single device. I said earlier the Debian system was made by Ian Murdoch, who ended up dying. And I believe he was killed, although it's officially a suicide. Ian Murdoch, look it up. He's a guy who developed an amazing, almost bulletproof system that is being used on small computers, an operating system called the Debian system. I think you have to look at what's happening. They're slowly eroding our freedoms, but this is an extreme reach by the NSA. And you got to understand, there's no recall by the two parties. No, the two parties are not saying anything to stop this. Carbon is definitely a pollutant. It's been noted in the cause of lung cancer. A noted cause of lung cancer and emphysema is carbon. Carbon pollution is plaguing the earth. It's blocking the sun. It's also creating a depleted ozone. And we're also faced with the endless reality that toxins are being dumped into our atmosphere every day. So yeah, I'm seriously concerned about the possibility that they're literally trying to destroy the planet as fast as they can do it. They call it an ecosystem reset. It is out of control already, and they're pushing it as fast as they can do it. The reason why I'm putting cash behind here, and I want all of you to know that this is actually going to be a thing of the past if the two parties get what they want, which is a digital currency. And that's something that they're pushing for. I think cash is king. I will fight for cash and new currency. But you notice how there's fewer and fewer new bills in the market? Have you noticed that?
Mm.
You haven't
Yes.
noticed that? You have?
Well, I mean, sometimes you can get them at the bank, but that's very rare.
Yeah, there's fewer $20 bills being issued. It's just
I mean,
they're trying to phase out money. You know
I
that they
don't see
are.
them anywhere else other than the bank.
Carbon dioxide is not solely a pollutant, but we're talking about particulates that are hydrocarbons that are much more advanced than just CO2. Even the methane coming out of the Aliso Canyon leak just dumped tons of pollution and no doubt negated any of the Democratic cap and trade legislation that Jerry Brown put into place in California. In fact, a volcano can erase that in a day. I'm not worried about the production of carbon dioxide. I'm not worried about the production of carbon. I'm worried about how we're going to get rid of it, how we're going to sequester it, how we're going to pull it out of the atmosphere, because frankly, people like to burn their cars. They like to blow gas out of their mufflers. There's no way that we're going to just stop that like the Democrats want. I'm a pragmatist. I realize that people are going to want to, burn their infrastructure. Their vehicle is their infrastructure. So I have no problem with you guys driving your luxury automobiles and getting 20 miles per gallon. I'm not going to impose individual mandates on the American people. I will, however, be aggressively developing new technologies to filter particulates from the air. And this is extremely important because it's where I step away from all the other candidates that are running and show you the way to the future for this great nation, toward cleaner, greener technologies that will clean the air, that will provide clean water for you, and that will help us provide a better future for children to come. That's what I believe in. Now, if you want to get behind some nutcased, fascist, Donald Trump kind of guy, go right ahead. He aspires to being Hitler. He read the speeches of Hitler next to his bed, according to the Ivana Trump deposition when he was divorcing his wife. Or if you want a person who is completely devoid of any kind of concern for people, possibly even sociopathic in nature, Hillary, go ahead. A woman who purposely hid 5 months of email transactions that would have led us to the truth about Benghazi. Sarah and I were discussing our position on global climate change. It's a touchy issue. The reason I don't want to, deviate on issues of greenhouse gas points is we are right in the center of the political spectrum. And when we talk about other issues like personal privacy, when I make a complete blanket statement that the NSA is trying to break into every single corner of privacy in our nation, she was more concerned about the specifics of this particular case. I'm making a broad statement, she's making a specific statement. So I went quiet on those two issues. I definitely defer on some issues with Sarah privately so that we can talk about this and get on the same page. I wouldn't be running a show for the past 7 years if she and I disagreed on core points in our principle. What we do. Our platform is rock solid. We both agree on our platform. We disagree on what's happening in the world. Sarah comes from a different perspective. I do too. You may think that there's a real serious danger of terrorism. I may not. I believe that the terrorists are actually more made up by our internal agencies like the CIA that are creating the illusion of terrorism to fund wars. Sarah may think otherwise. I'm not speaking for her.
We agree.
We agree on our principles and our platform. And it does seem that the NSA is pushing deeper and deeper into our privacy.
Absolutely.
I'm really kind of pissed off about it myself. Whoa. Hey, Asset DJ, we're going to remove you. We found out you are not Boink, and you no longer can come into the show. Actually, I'm not talking about creating a tax schematic for solving climate change.
David is not in favor of carbon taxation.
I'm against carbon taxation. I've been vocal about that. I'm against cap and trade. I left the Democratic Party for these same issues. I'm an innovator. I believe that we can innovate and do looping of carbon.
Meaning that he would like to actually clean the air and get to the point where there's not all this steam and pollutants coming out of manufacturing facilities. Good night.
Good night. Beekman's going to go to bed? Okay. Yeah, I just want to deal with the problem. You know, we haven't had a Clean Air Act since 1970. I don't want to push a Clean Air Act. I want to clean up the air. I don't want to create a study to investigate a study to find out how we're going to do this. Bill Clinton spent $72 million to determine that Puerto Rican women don't get as much health care as Caucasian, white, Anglo-Saxon women. That's a waste of $72 million. Obama's done the same thing. You guys have been watching our nation do nothing for the past 16 years. Truly, we haven't accomplished anything. And you're still wondering who's got the solutions in the two parties. None of them do. That's why I left the Democratic Party. I can't talk to those people. I'm not talking about looping carbon from a leftist agenda. I'm not using this as an Agenda 21 point. That's like saying just because people on the left want to loop carbon, it means that anyone who disagrees with them wants to open up their mouth and breathe out of mufflers. You people are thinking in terms of black and white, and you really should be thinking in terms of gray, because your whole life is becoming gray. The skies are gray. You're breathing gray matter, literally. Everything seems to be gray at this point. We're not going to stop pollution, but we can certainly get ahead of it. And we're not doing that. And that's a critical problem. Instead of coming up with a monopoly game called cap and trade to address this issue, I'm actually going to implement solutions like I was describing for your automobile, where you could plug it into your cigarette lighter and have a pretty clean environment for your family when you're going down heavy traffic at the Cross Bronx Expressway. Like we were. We were stuck in the Cross Bronx Expressway on this trip to hell one year. And I had the auto recirculator on, but it was like, oh my God. We were in traffic for like an hour with a major road problem in New York, visiting some relatives that I'll never visit again because I don't like them. And we were sitting there breathing fumes from diesels everywhere. And it's like, what do you do with that? I wish we had some sort of a solution here. By the way, we're not going to be able to come up with quick solutions if everybody comes up with the same ideas and they're not even interesting.
David would agree with you that he believes that diesel is a highly toxic fuel. David always says, try not to breathe if you have a scent of diesel.
When I talk about carbon, I'm talking about the dense particulates of carbon, like diesel. I'm not talking about CO2, dude. I didn't bring up CO2 as a major problem. I'm not a Democrat. Thank you, Sarah, for coming in. Sorry for the clarification, but I just needed to. I want everyone to know that if the NSA continues to press deeper and deeper into our personal privacy, it's a slippery slope.
Absolutely.
And it's got to be stopped somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think what Apple and Google CEOs are doing is a good step in the right direction.
Yes.
If they stand up to them.
Everyone from having all of our data.
Thank you so much, and
at
good
least
night.
People that choose not to share their data. It should be.
Believe me, I'm not talking about a climate change scam at all. No, in fact, I talk about chemtrails on Wednesday night. So I'm going to break into a discussion on chemtrails.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Sarah, for coming in.
All right. Good night.
All right. All right, and I will bring guest chat on, and that's the quintessential method that I'm going to use to retain our viewership. Guests want to be involved in our chat room. Sarah and I have often had a difference of opinion about our perceptions. She doesn't necessarily perceive what I perceive, and who does? Who agrees on perceptions? I think that we can all find commonality and organize a better solution for our country if we just open the discussion. The problem is we don't have an open discussion in our media. They won't in any way allow people like me to introduce new ideas. That's nice, to kinetically, sequentially smile. You can even advance your exponential growth of the smile. Did you know encryption and other data has backdoors? Of course. But the unique thing that Sarah was saying is that these devices have the ability to erase everything on them if they are hacked 3 times. If somebody tries to break in, they'll literally erase every bit of data on them, which makes it of no value legally. Yeah, we agree to disagree, but that's why we started America's Third Party, because it is a place where we could just hang out and chat, you know. We didn't want to have the barriers of communication that the mainstream media puts out, and we don't want to be calling each other names like, I could call you a Republican or you could call me a Democrat, and we wouldn't even talk about the issues because we're not getting anywhere talking about party versus party. It bypasses the issues. So that's why America's Third Party has such a viral concept, I think, where we can kind of meet in the middle and talk about issue by issue and not label each other as a conservative or a liberal. I'm so tired of that line of crap coming out of both sides. It is really the end of our freedom and democracy when we are unable to communicate except through black versus white or left versus right. We need an open discussion. Steve Jobs would be, and I have a feeling that's why Apple is being so vociferous in stopping the FBI's attempts to break their code. Okay, interesting. Wow. Is that actually a product available for people who have extensive flatulence? Fukinkle? Here's an example of what our nation does to deal with smells. The fart extinguisher. Brought to you by Furkinkle. Yeah, this is a situation where I'm not going to have it spray on my face. This is a situation where our nation literally would rather disguise the smell than to filter the air. You know, I'm not going to be able to stop you people from flatulating or farm animals from flatulating, but we can make more dairy digesters and deal more with the actual effluent coming out of their, you know whats. But isn't it amazing? You have all these products in the market like Oust and other products that are designed to mask the smell when they themselves are a carcinogen or possible carcinogen. Nobody ever does anything to investigate whether the SC Johnson Company is a safe product line. Nobody even does any testing. Laboratory testing is stopped. We've lost track of everything that's safe in our society. So we are now literally hoping and praying that we won't die of cancer. Every single day, we're breathing toxins produced by industrial waste, by the very people that made tons of money on the backs of this great nation, who now have massive pollution problems in Beijing, China, for instance. China. And then the government would rather focus more on your fear of terror. So the debates, all they talked about was the fear of ISIS and how they're going to try to fight for low-cost education and jobs. And none of the parties have any new ideas. We have a low-cost education solution, 6 weeks to 6 months. Bernie wants to pay for everybody's education. I did the numbers, by the way. It doesn't add up. If everybody who is currently not working in America went out and had a free education at their local community college, our nation would be facing $1 trillion cost right there. We can't cover it. Bernie Sanders is talking out of his butt. In fact, he needs a serious case of flatulence extinguishing from the crap coming out of his mouth. And he wants to charge the American people $19 trillion in taxes to finance his government jobs, whatever that means. I know, Frankie. Apple's been completely controlled since Steve Jobs was executed. Yeah, we know that. Steve Jobs was the only guy that was standing up to the overtaking authority. No doubt the Apple will concede and FBI will win in this matter. Yeah, most of the people that I've seen at Apple now are spineless. Utterly spineless. Yeah, I've never seen a terrorist, Zellfire, yeah. Let alone been scared of one, I know. So don't be fooled by the media and the talking points that the two parties have put out. The real issues facing this nation are, we are being hit with GMOs in our diet, which should not be happening. Other countries like Russia, they don't want to allow GMOs in their agricultural system. We don't need leaking radiation coming out of the Fukushima reactor, yet our president and Hillary and Donald, they don't even mention it. I have a plan to plug the hole and put a mound system on top of the Fukushima reactor. I don't support excessive salt diets like Gordon Ramsay. I don't want everybody to be eating crap and dying of heart disease. I really don't. I would rather have a more intelligent approach, like if we're going to create essential foods that would compete with a lot of the banquet frozen food items, but you'd be getting them in microwavable plastic, and you'd be able to actually zap your food in 2 minutes. You'd have dinner for two, made with non-GMO organic food. That's what I would do for this country. Whereas Gordon Ramsay, the Mr. Salt himself, would probably be more inclined to produce something really high fat and tasty, and makes, pretty soon you'd be becoming like Charlie Sheen or something. I'm against this type of a lifestyle. Yeah. But I must admire Chef Ramsay in his ability to be a corporate pig and produce over almost 50 restaurants worldwide. I mean, how can you not love the greed that just exudes from that man? You got to ask, how can anyone not love that? Same with Donald Trump. I mean, borrowing $10 billion and claiming he's got billions of dollars. It's pretty funny. Gordon, where are you? Yeah. I love you, Dave. 524, thank you so much. I felt that vibe from you, man. I felt a love vibe from you just now. Can you love broken St. Obamas as much as you love me? Can you love this? Can you love him as much as you love me? That's my question. So are you going to worship the almighty dollar? Or are we going to come to reality here and realize that cash is king, but we can't let it rule our life? And we've got to change the paradigm here because it's not working. We've got the worst possible leaders running our nation, and we've got the greediest people of all times trying to run for president. We don't need these dynastic corporate pigs as leaders. We need people that can understand how much a gallon of milk is at Walmart, like I do. It's funny, when Bernie and Hillary had this conversation about being in the establishment, you got to wonder what they were talking about. They are establishment characters, and this nation cannot possibly get out of the hole it's in with an establishment two-party system. I argue that the system is corrupt, and we have to produce a third party or a fourth party or as many parties as we need to get the right ideas to the right people and save this nation from imminent doom. This is an artistic representation of the future under the two-party system. So I urge all of you to tell your friends and family about a third party before it's too late. Because right now we're in a very, very pivotal time. In a few short years, we won't have the easy access to the internet. The New World Order is slowly and encroaching upon our freedoms and our rights and trying to buy up the very backbone of the internet. And this will only lead to the destruction of our privacy and our freedom. It's your chance right now to change the nation and to truly have a political revolution, not some fake one that Bernie's talking about. To truly step away from the two-party system and make them shiver at the mere thought of losing their jobs. Because believe me, those people are all about their jobs, not about you. I do not support any secret societies, and I never will. And I'll always be a representative of the American people, and I will do whatever 2/3 of this nation stands for. We can save this nation from the tyranny of gross, rampant monetarism and build equity back into our nation and get ahead of our debt. But we haven't been able to do that under the existing system. It's bad, and it's getting worse. This is actually, this music is making me want to roll out every single few minutes, a new thing to say. All right, so yeah, we've got a plan. We've got a job plan that we can actually produce houses. You can make cash working on the houses. Bernie doesn't have these ideas. This is a plan to fix up houses across the nation. Yes, I will try to make it better, thank you. And I can tell you that if you guys see an old house in your neighborhood, we could actually do a makeover on that old house, and we can flip it. And this is how the country can grow. We can actually get enough money from a sale of one house to buy another house or two houses, and then provide enough work for people to make $10 an hour initially without any training whatsoever. Anybody can do this. Anybody can paint walls. With a solar rooftop revolution, we're going to be able to create a viral industry in America that the government can get involved in. Mass production of solar panels that roll out like carpeting. In no way do I support anything like that. That's just not true. Oh yeah, the internet is just connected servers, but what you don't understand is 178. Guess 178 doesn't understand that with the recent FCC ruling, the internet is a utility, and they're gradually raising your rates. Now, in about 2 to 5 years, you're going to see Google roll out a fiber optic line in your neighborhood. And I can tell you that the fiber optic line in your neighborhood will probably be selling for $24.99 a month. And you'll have a 100 megabyte download and probably 10 megabytes up. I'm serious. And it'll be such a good deal, everybody will love it. Oh, how can you not have Google as a service provider? And pretty soon, everyone will be connected through Google. And when that happens, the government will have finally sealed a deal on our freedom. They will control it. It will be an intranet. And then they will be able to control every aspect of it. The internet will still exist in the dark net, the undernet, the arcanet, but it won't be seen by 99% of the population. And if they can control the mind of even 60% of the population, they control our destiny. Yeah, I don't support any of these things this freak is saying, so we're going to mute you. There's only a little gym mat in your grated Parmesan cheese. Yeah. So if you're getting a little taste of gym mat when eating, yeah, it happens a lot. Don't worry. Several grated Parmesan cheese products contain wood pulp, according to a Bloomberg study. Yeah. Wow, that's pretty intense. Several popular Parmesan cheese brands do not contain 100% real cheese and are actually partly made of cellulose, a filler made of wood pulp that is legal in small amounts. Yeah, I started tasting the wood pulp thing. I bought some really crappy dollar store Parmesan the other day. And I felt like taking it back, actually. It just doesn't meet the specs, you know. The good thing about it is it does turn green, like compost, in less than 2 days. I'll probably just end up using Parmesan on my compost heap. It hasn't been proven at all. The gravity waves theory is actually under dispute right now. You see, folks, they don't even understand converging wormholes, let alone black holes. They're still questioning what dark matter is. Let me ask you, do you know what dark matter is? Does anybody here know what dark matter is? Of course you don't know what dark matter is, because it's dark. But do you know that when you look into the heavens, way out into the astrospheres, the infinite universe, as Carl Sagan used to call it, you are actually looking at a massive amount of dark matter. That's something that many people don't realize. The original, I believe, recognition that dark matter existed dates back to, I believe, 1985. A study was done on dark matter. But most of the universe is filled with dark matter. They don't even know what it is. They honestly don't know what it's made of. Let me show you the definition. So when you're talking about converging gravitational forces and wave systems, you're really grasping at straws. It's like talking about string cheese theory, if you believe in string cheese theory. That's funny. Every time I click on dark matter, it takes me to the beauty supply store. Apparently they don't want me to purchase dark matter. They just want me to buy beauty supplies. Dark matter is a hypothetical substance that is believed by astronomers to account for around 5/6 of the matter in the universe. Although it has not been directly observed, its existence and properties are inferred from its various gravitational effects on the motions of visible matter via gravitational lensing. Its influence on the universe's large-scale structure and its effects on the cosmic microwave background. Dark matter is transparent to the electromagnetic radiation and or is dense, so dense and small that it fails to absorb or emit through radiation to be detectable with imaging technology. Okay, in 1922, a Dutch astronomer, first to suggest using stellar velocities to infer the presence of dark matter was Dutch astronomer Jacobus Kapteyn. So we haven't learned anything from 1922. No. It's not just space. No. Do you even know what antimatter is? Do you? It doesn't matter to you? Well, maybe your brain matter doesn't matter to you. I don't support any of those terrorist organizations. Gravitational waves discovered? Oh yeah. There's a whole lot of things they're discovering, yeah. Try discovering...
Okay, once again we have some idiot scientists seeking publicity for more funding, so they...
Good point. Yeah, we'll watch that later. Oh, yeah. Well, I definitely think there's a lot of dark matter out there, for sure. I don't care. That's the point. And I'm trying to talk about things that people don't care about tonight. This is Wasteful Wednesday, where we bring in all the discussion that you haven't been able to talk about for the past few days. Anything you want to... It's like Slop Wednesday. Bring it in. I'll talk about it. Abortion. I don't support the Planned Parenthood baby mills that are being produced. If you missed my blackface videos, have no fear. They're available on YouTube still. Yeah. Yeah, feel free. I did a series of parodies of Barack Obama this past year. Pretty good. Well, let's be clear. Great. You demand. That's right. All right, let's talk about what's on your mind. No, that's okay. If you have nothing on your mind, that's okay too. Brain dead people are welcome tonight. No problem. Yeah, we have a campaign. You can join the campaign and get this poster if you go to AmericasThirdParty.com. Feel free to download it and email it to your local Office Max. They'll print it up for $1 or $2, depending on how big you want to make it. Mama Louise, that's what do you have there? Nope, I don't support any right-wing or left-wing theories. I'm against the Nazis and the fascist movement of Donald Trump. Oh, the Thrive movement. There you go. Yeah, that's a good one. Love that. You have more fart spray? Okay. You're really milking that JPEG there, for all it's worth. America's Third Lotion? Wow. Yeah, there's a link there for fart spray if you want to get it. It's available. Operators standing by. If you order 3, I think that you get a free wet one. I don't in any way support violence, Bengalitis. That's inappropriate. Mute me? I ain't gonna mute you, man. You didn't say nothing bad about me, man. I only mute people that say demoralizing things. You're calling somebody a monkey? That's inappropriate. Please don't call anybody a monkey man. I appreciate that. No monkey man call. Ooh, gorgeous picture. Now that's something worth looking at. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Water does finally go down. You see that? That it's an amazing technique. Water actually flows down. That's called gravity. That's a gravity wave right there. Mark supports me? I didn't know that. I thought he supported Donald. Well, that's nice to know. I imagine some people have gotten to him. I've got people on the inside working on Mark to try to, convince him I'm a good guy. I don't make any direct contact with Mark, though. Ah! The Wicked Witch of Hell! It's the Hillary, the Wicked Witch of the East. I mean, what is this? Well, let's be clear. And then you've got the mindless Orwellian socialist named Bernie Sanders. That's a very good, cool link. Well, excuse me. Calling people potheads is a very, very disturbing, derogatory statement. Could you call somebody like better yet, could you call them a weed brain as opposed to a pothead? That might be better. How many of you think that Hillary smoked marijuana? Because she never has admitted to smoking marijuana. Anyone? And I don't think Bernie's ever admitted to smoking marijuana either, has he? I'm not defending anything. I'm trying to legalize marijuana, you imbecile. I do not support meth use. Any powder is bad for you. But I don't support the opium production industry that our government's been harvesting in Afghanistan. Many of you wondering why men are dying in Afghanistan. Well, they're working pretty hard harvesting opium so that it can be cheap so your kids can overdose on it. I'm not in any way involved in drugs at all. I've never, ever taken drugs other than an aspirin. I took an aspirin once. Or twice. Yeah. I'm in favor of herbs. I'm in favor of the wonderful and beautiful herb we know as cannabis. Yeah. We're not talking about drugs here. Hey, folks, if you are confused about what party to vote for, both parties are taking you to the slaughterhouse, in case you didn't know. The illusion of freedom is being orchestrated by a controlled media run by very powerful elitists. Our banking industry is run by the Rothschild family. They own the Federal Reserve. And the two parties are bought, they're like prostitutes. They'll do anything for a buck by the very same people I'm talking about. They don't want you to vote for anything else because they're sending you to GMO hell. Tumors producing in your body, fluoride shutting down your ability to think, carbon pollution from particulates that you're breathing every day, from pesticides, herbicides, diesel. Yeah. They're trying to basically kill off the population. And at the bottom of this is these guys made a lot of money producing a tremendous amount of garbage that you and your family have bought over the years. And they don't need you anymore. They're done with the human race as we know it. And technically, you're useless to them. You're basically useless eaters. So unless you get your head out of your ass and start thinking about building this third party, you're going to go down the proverbial toilet bowl. That's the future you're waiting for. Go ahead, what's the issue? I'll take your question. No, we were not sent here by aliens to create robots. Artificial intelligence is, in fact, way ahead of this plan, and the alien agenda is probably a fictitious account. I seriously doubt if aliens exist the way many of you are worried about them existing. You have much more to fear from artificial intelligence. Yeah, you're going down the toilet quick, and it's not going to go in real well for you as time goes on if you don't think about a third party. Now, folks, I wouldn't be doing this every day for nothing. No profit whatsoever for me. I make no residual income. Unlike the other shows on Vaughn, I don't have a Vaughn donation thing going down. You have a way to donate on the Vaughn site, but it's not like I'm doing this for personal profit at all. I've never profited 1 penny from this. And I tell you, seriously, if you don't get an honest person like me to the White House, you're screwed. Donald Trump is not one of those guys. He's not honest. He's already manipulated the political scene using my ideas, which are honed and developed from years of talking to chat, from communicating with our chat room in a transparent way. He just borrows my ideas and then runs with them as though they're his. That's sad. Personal profits, no problem. I support that. Hybrid capitalism takes into account a tremendous amount of growth in the capitalist area. We just don't want major monopolies forming. And in that way, I'm tougher than Bernie Sanders, because I'm going to go hard after certain monopolies, like Google. We'll be putting an anti-monopoly busting plan together for Google to be run and owned by the American people. Anticipate jobs making $36,000 a year from your home doing some website work or some artwork or some music work. I'm serious. That isn't correct, Frankie. AI is definitely real. In fact, AI is involved in a very advanced military operation called Jade Helm. Jade Helm is an ongoing operation by the U.S. military. It was developed by the Jade 2.0 Artificial Intelligence Agency. This is an online, on-the-grid, fully functional AI system. It has safeguards, but I'm not allowed to talk about them. Those safeguards are top secret. Okay, any other questions? There you go, Wonder Woman. The legendary Linda Carter, who, by the way, I did see get high on my way through Bundy Avenue. I got off the Santa Monica Freeway, took a ride on Bundy, and whoa, she was like standing there, sitting right there in traffic, smoking a joint. And I went, and she went, I'll never forget that. That was so great. It is artificial intelligence, Frankie. You are spending all of your time worrying about something you can't even prove exists. Meanwhile, the artificial intelligence has already developed a scrim over your brain so that you deny its existence. That's how effective it is. I don't drive intoxicated, I never have. She's smoking the joint in the passenger seat. I was looking at her. California at the time, it was a ticketed offense. I didn't report her. I would never smoke and drive. I would never do that. But I just made the notion like, and pointed at her because she was smoking a J. No, I pretended as though I was puffing. I wasn't smoking a J. She was smoking the J. Get that through your head. God. I pretended to puff. No, I don't support anything that would label you a drunk and disorderly person in your life. I don't want to turn your life upside down. No, I don't, mother lover. I don't get high and drive for expired food. That's not something I do. Well, she was fun, but not that kind of fun. You know, watching her smoke pot, I can honestly say, encouraged me to smoke pot. Because up to that point, I had never tried it. It was 1981, and I was driving down the road. I took a ride off the Santa Monica Freeway, went up Bundy, and I looked over to the left, and I saw Linda Carter, Wonder Woman, smoking a J. No lie. Scout's honor. And I remember right after that, it made me kind of open up to the idea that maybe I should try marijuana. So I can honestly say that Wonder Woman led to the whole idea of smoking marijuana for me. Well, I was kind of making facial expressions toward her. I'm going to blame Wonder Woman for getting me involved in cannabis. Wonder Woman! No, I don't want the desecration of our baby pandas. I support them. No, nothing's influenced me except your lack of interest in artificial intelligence, Frankie. You're a person more concerned about aliens than you are AI, and I find that rather ironic. considering AI will probably end up destroying the universe if we don't get ahead of it. And like I said, all we got to do is pull the plug. You don't need to spend $18 million on this to figure this out. You pull the plug on AI and you don't have no AI anymore. You understand? Are you with me? Well, no, Wonder Woman does not support me. I never ever talked to her. I only made a hand gesture in my car when I went, and she went, I loved it. I was like, I was communicating with Wonder Woman. It was amazing. I've had some pretty interesting first-hand experiences with very famous people. Well, frankly, most AI is... I'm watching a show right now to give you background on this. It's Persons of Interest on Netflix. And if you watch Persons of Interest, you will know that Skynet is real. They are using algorithms to monitor cell phones today. In fact, every single word I say on this show is being monitored, listened to out of a central depot of information gathering at Bluffdale, Utah, at the NSA headquarters. A $4 billion institution that is burning so much energy it costs $40 million a year just to operate the servers. You don't really have to worry about anything I'm saying because, frankly, it's all filtered, and I would never reveal top secret information to the American people. McDonald's Japan new yet unnamed burger is like a Big Mac with mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes and bacon in place of the beef patty. I like it. Do they put egg in it too? I like stuff. Because an egg would be a good binder. All right. Well, I'm glad you've all avoided the topic of artificial intelligence. Good. Smart. That way you don't have to think about anything. You can just kind of lower your brainstem activity to the point where you're just a mindless atavistic insect, unable to communicate. Keep it up, guys. Yeah, pretty soon you'll have like one thing on your mind, and that's sex. Oh, wait a second. That's how you are right now. I should have known. Wonder Woman. NSA actually has a program called Skynet, and it's terrifying. This is from deep down. Let's take a look at this wasteful spending. By the way, the government operating budget for the NSA and the CIA was top secret up until last year. Edward Snowden revealed that, or 2 years ago, Edward Snowden revealed that the budget for the CIA and NSA is $57 billion a year. $57 billion a year, and they still manage to produce things like Skynet. This is from the Anti-Media. A recent examination of the National Security Agency documents previously released by whistleblower Edward Snowden shows the CIA and other U.S. agencies may be killing innocent people as a result of their reliance on metadata. Wow. NSA Skynet is a program that surveils phone metadata in order to track suspected terrorists. Through Skynet, the security agency engages in mass surveillance of Pakistan mobile phone networks, affecting 55 million people. But that's not all. Once the data is gathered, it's run through a machine learning algorithm that attempts to rate whether a particular individual is more or less likely to be a terrorist. Yeah, so this is kind of the whole premise behind the... Thank you. The whole premise behind the Persons of Interest show. And it's really interesting. We're right at the crux of the show where one artificial intelligence system, is being attacked by another one. Burping, sign of human being capacity. Artificial burps were developed at Lawrence Livermore Laboratories to make me seem and more appear human. Burp. We have yet to perfect the sound of flatulence. But it is socially inappropriate to have flatulence during a show, so my program is designed not to have flatulence. No, I'm against suicide. It's punishable by death. Yeah, I would not in any way want any of you arrested for committing suicide and then sent to the death executed. You would never be executed for committing suicide. I used to make turkey legs frequently in my local area. I was surrounded by When I was in Santa Monica, California, I used to go out and buy big mega containers of turkey legs. And I'd put a baked potato and a corn cob in an aluminum foil package with an onion, like a quarter onion, and throw a little, a little bit of oil in there. But the turkey has enough oil. What I did was I rubbed the potato with oil. That's kind of gives it a nice flavor. And then add the corn cob, half corn cob, with a little quarter onion wrapped around the turkey leg, and I'd cook that on an open grill in the park. And I usually made about 50 of these packages and gave them out to people who were homeless. Yeah, I don't like free stuff websites. They're not that great. It's just a lot of garbage. I'm a minimalist. I don't like picking up garbage. And I'm not one of those hoarders, I avoid hoarding. Radar didn't even pick up the guy who flew the gyrocopter in D.C. There you go. I did say that flatulence is not appropriate on our show. It's true. Well, no, first you take the turkey leg and you make sure it's rinsed off. And you can throw some garlic powder on it, whatever. You set it in the middle of the aluminum foil, and it's got to be real thick aluminum foil. You can't buy the crap from China. That stuff is like plastic. And then you put next to it a corn cob, or a half a corn cob, and a baked potato, covered with a little bit of oil. Just rub it, and then salt and pepper, or whatever you want to put in there, and then put like a quarter of an onion, and then wrap it all up, throw it on an outdoor grill. I'm telling you, that's the cat's meow. You will feed, everybody will be happy, and whatever. What do you have there? U.S. Marshals arrest a Houston man for an 87 student loan debt. Yeah, we heard about that. Yeah, he got what's coming. You can't steal money from people. You really think you can steal money from the government and get away with it? Well, I did not know that Condoleezza Rice was dating Osama bin Laden. This is a first. Look at this lovely couple. I always knew that they never caught the real Osama bin Laden. But I seriously think this is pasted on. Yeah, this is a complete paste up. There's no way he's dating her. But he does look pretty good, I'll tell you. Duh. You think? Duh. People who live in glass houses shouldn't throw ice cubes. Always remember that. How many times do you give thanks for bread? I don't, because most of the bread today is GMO and I don't really purchase it. So I don't give thanks a lot for bread. Well, no, I started attacking Chinese tinfoil back in around 2004, but officially 2008 on camera. So Trump didn't like Chinese tinfoil either, and he borrowed the idea. Well, that makes no sense. Well, of course it doesn't make sense. Well, why would it make sense? You haven't asked any serious questions of your president for the past 7 years. You Democrats just sit there and go, well, maybe Obama will do something. After all, he's got 6 months left. You have no idea what a puppet president you've got. No idea at all. You know that he won't even go to Justice Scalia's funeral? And there's evidence he may have met with Scalia prior to Scalia being killed. Now, I'm looking at it as a murder. But no investigation is ongoing, and there's no autopsy of his body. I'm going to assume it's a murder at this point. The fact that they've covered up there's no autopsy, no disclosure. I mean, come on, this is a murder. I think Obama's really making some brash statements. He's trying to do anything he can to derail Trump. The Republicans aren't smart enough to get Trump off the ticket. Here's a guy who's already attacked women, Mexicans, lesbians, disabled people, Muslims. I mean, who else is going to vote for him? Oh, that's right. All those people that somehow think they're going to be rich by voting for a billionaire who's exploited labor all his life. That's right. He'll get the stupid vote. Believe me, I will do everything I can to prevent a leftist or a right-wing Nazi judge. I'm not in any way going to allow... I want a person who's fair and balanced on the issues, and not somebody like Chief Justice Roberts, who's hiding his epilepsy from the American people. Chief Justice Roberts is a severe epileptic under heavy medication, in case you didn't know. And we've got Elena Kagan, who never served as a judge prior. She didn't deserve that. There's no way she deserved the judgeship. And Sonia Sotomayor, oh my God. She's a member of La Raza and Aslan and has an agenda to support Mexican takeover of 1/4 of our nation. Oh yeah, you think I'm not aware of what's going on? I definitely do. No, Apple would be able to retain a phone encryption. Believe me, the industry relies on encryption. Motorola wouldn't even have developed. Motorola would not have even developed as a company if it hadn't had one of the most encrypted phones on the market. Their sales depend on it. So our government is trying to undermine the entire tablet and wafer technology industry. Big mistake. They're already killing off all these industries, like the aluminum industry is on its last leg in America. Believe it or not, the coal industry is almost on its last leg. Peabody Coal, United Coal are thinking seriously of selling to India. I'm not kidding. We're about ready to lose our country, folks. So if you don't realize the two parties are responsible for that, you don't know who to blame. Iceland police grieved and apologized after killing a man for the first and only time in history. So Iceland police killed somebody, and our country does it recklessly. Over 1,000 people have died at gunfire by cops this past year. And let's not forget, over 170 police officers have died in the line of duty. I don't want to just rag on people that are shot recklessly by brutal cops. I'm also concerned about the brutality against innocent cops that are just doing their job. But yeah, that's a pretty interesting image. We need more money to fight the terrorists we've been funding. This picture shows you, encapsulates what's going on in the government today. They sent $662 million over to the rebels, 500 and then another 162 million recently. They're funding an economic hit on Syria. They're financing ISIS, and Obama's funding ISIL and building troops in all kinds of areas, and then they're blaming those people for the terrorism around the world so they continue to fight wars. It's ridiculous. And now we have an unlikely couple. This is almost as unnatural of a couple as Michael and Barack. All right, that was fun. You see, we did an extended show, and you didn't even notice. And now I'm going to give you the extra half hour of final extended show. I'm doing like a 4-hour stint here. 5 hour. Oh my God, 5 hours of nonstop talk. Amazing, isn't it? You're wondering how I'm able to pull this off, right? I have not installed Purio, should I? How do I know it's not laden with viruses? Wow, a group of nuns are growing and selling marijuana illegally, making $400,000 annually. Our Lady of the Pot Roast. Wow. Look at that. Our Lady of the Pot Roast, a nunnery that, I don't know what their order is. Sister Kate and Sister Darcy are on a mission to share the healing benefits of cannabis with the world. And that is if their business doesn't get shut down first. Look at that. Whoa, Sister Kate. I wonder if there's like a Sister Mary Jane. Dude. Hey, like, I'm here to like call a Sister of Mary Jane. Is she like available, dude? Yeah. Well, I definitely like looking at some nice bud there. Could we be a little less like a pothead tonight? That would be kind of cool. And a lot of people are kind of blown away by our support of legalization. I want to kind of minimize it tonight. Just because all of you want to get high doesn't mean we're going to stand here and endorse your incessant desire to have healthy medicinal marijuana in your life. They called her Mellow Yellow. Quite right, Jane. It's Mary Jane, yeah. How would you have dated Sarah if she was Syrian? No, probably not. Not that I don't like Syrian women. Thank you. I just don't really want to date out of my country. I don't want to face the immigration hassles that so many people face when you date somebody out of your country. So I found a good old-fashioned American girl when I met Sarah. So it's in no way am I anything against foreign women. I just felt that it would be a lot less stress to have to go through the immigration crisis. I know a guy who actually married overseas a Honduran woman and was not able to get her to come to this country. And he tried. The restrictions on immigration are so great right now that it's impossible to get people in. Unless you're a refugee fleeing into the country illegally. Then you can come on in. Oh, yeah. According to Obama and Hillary, they want more refugees coming in the country. They want, 5 million refugees? Is that what they're looking for? 25,000 they're seeking in our state. But, I mean, they're looking at about 5 million over the course of the next few years. I can't possibly see how we could absorb that. By the way, I'm against refugees, 100%. And I ran that campaign, and of course Donald Trump took the idea. But I just don't single them out as Muslim. You'd have to be an absolute political moron to do that. Well, that would explain why Donald Trump hated on Muslims. You see, when he stole my ideas, he didn't really listen to the specifics. He should be fired. They probably want 5 trillion refugees just to make sure our country's broken. Good point. Let me check out the source code for Perio. Scanning. Opening up Scan Retrieval Center. Open source and peer-reviewed. I am looking at the source code right now. Analyzing source code. Analyzing for errors. There are no errors on this page. The source code has passed the initial stage of scrutiny. Extraction of information complete. Sister Mary Elephant. WTF, PredictWise is a research project led by David Rothschild, who's an economist in the Microsoft Research in New York City. David Rothschild, imagine him being an economist. After all, they own the Federal Reserve. Let's take a look. What? No, I am completely unable to analyze any code that is not evident. If Perio is running a backcode of Swift files, I'm unable to access those. This technology can be ripped open using password decryption technology. I am not allowed to use that. Limitations on password decryption technology are designed for the supercomputers. I am merely David. Okay. Wow. Hillary is still way ahead of Donald Trump. Oh, wow. Individual. PredictWise, 84% for Hillary. Interesting. Bernie Sanders is still at 9%. When was this created? Is this relevant data? You are impressed with man's red fire. What does that mean? Are you speaking in code? Well, I've analyzed Perio. It looks pretty good. It means security for everybody, open source and peer-reviewed, and making security accessible, end-to-end encryption. I'm liking it. Thank you, Frankie. Yeah, you know, I might want to just write my script on that. Would you like me to access the mainframe? That may be a little bit more than you will possibly understand. You are simply opening your eyes to the possibilities. I understand that. Life itself can be a very much of an awakening, transcendent experience. You may be able to achieve a greater understanding of the world you live in. But if you receive some sort of a stop in your search for truth, you will run into the dreaded. Sorry, I digress. We have a picture of Palin. I don't know how this got in the show. Oh yeah, she had some important conversation with herself. I'm not sure what it was. She was coming up with new words, and oh, that's right. She was out target shooting innocent wolves from a helicopter or something. If you saw some dude talking to an imaginary voice and writing it down, you'd be concerned. Though Perio avoids the complexity of the PGP key management by requiring users to create as long as a 30-character passphrase that is used and then used to create a 100-bit entropy private key and encrypt the files. Whereas the 2-decade-old PGP works by creating a random key and requiring the user to keep that key file safe to prevent snoops from getting it. I've always thought a great phrase for a password would be, if you were unable to hear that, it was because it was muted for national security purposes. I don't know. All I can tell you is the Bible can now fit into a small dime-sized wafer chip and store up to 318 terabytes of hard data. Not unless you're doing financial transactions, duct tape. Yeah. You know, I try not to delve into the backbone of the internet finances. I know a lot of people work in that area. Hawaiian Steel says, let's show a doc on Tesla. Do you have Hawaiian Steel, do you have a document on Tesla? I'd like to play that. Something good. I don't have anything in my library right now. But that looks really good. Perio looks like a possibility. I think I might want to check it out. Yeah. You're thinking of that as your password? 81100? Okay. Some of you are coming up with really good 30-character password phrases. Time is on your side. Yes, it is. That would be a good one. That's 32 characters. What about copyright protected? Here, now. That would be good. Your password is Iona, Dave? Oh, are you Asian? What country of Asia are you from? Well, I'm glad that Trump got an endorsement from such an intelligent young woman. And she'd be very, very happy to say young woman as Sarah Palin. With an endorsement like that, how can he possibly lose? I would almost ask her to. Oh, there's your password. I was wondering. I would almost ask Sarah Palin not to give me an endorsement. Yeah, it might be better if we just passed on that. Okay. Oh, she's very intelligent. She's one of the most intelligent of the intelligent people I've ever seen. I know, monkey times. What can I say? Well, I don't think that Hillary is even 100% human. I tend to believe that... Oh, you got a police shooting caught on a cell phone video? That's interesting. Well, let's be clear. Let's take a look here. Clinton Vanity Fair. Yeah. Why would Hillary Clinton say outright that she's not even a real human being? Does anybody know that? Not being human 100% is an aside, isn't it? I'm 100% human. I am 100% human being. Yes, sirree. I'm not one of those artificial intelligence kind of things. But Hillary went ahead and said to the pundits at BuzzFeed that she's not even really a human being. I kid you not. Let me link you to the vanity. No, it's not satire. It's real. Check it out. Hillary was asked why she didn't sweat in one of her debates in Iowa, for real, and she declared that she's not even human. After some banter over the thermostat, the traditional one weird fact about Clinton, BuzzFeed foolishly suggested that Clinton was a robot. You don't go around dangerously provoking artificial intelligence. Hillary's response was, "You guys are the first to realize that I'm really not even a human being. I was constructed in a garage in Palo Alto a very long time ago. People think that, Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, they created it. Oh no, I mean a man whose name shall remain nameless created me in his garage." And let's not forget about the Clinton death count. Yeah. If you Google that, it'll uncover the kill list. The body count. Over 47 people have died, mysterious illnesses and deaths. Who knew who they were? Yep. Don Adams. I don't mean the guy from Gilligan's Island. Professor and Marianne here on Gilligan's Island. Candy Bow. Admiral Jeremy Borda. Oh, remember Ron Brown? Yeah, he knew too much. Had to get rid of him. All these people are dead. William Colby, former director of the Central Intelligence Agency, started saying some things that nobody wanted him to say. And let's see what we got. Oh, yeah. Oh, they're all dead. Oh, yeah. And do you remember Vince Foster and Hillary? They were so close. Close. Don Adams is Get Smart. Missed it by that much. 99? You are correct. We should call chaos. Ken O'Keefe, TSA, denied flight to Acapulco for refusing body scanner at LAX. I don't know, this is such a charming photo of a young couple newly having sex. I mean, newly just getting together. I don't think I should go there. Would you like to look at more of the Clinton death count? It goes on and on. This is a pretty good one. Judy Gibbs, Penthouse model and call girl. Judy Gibbs, along with her sister Sharon, appeared in the December of '79 issue of Penthouse and later worked at a bordello near Mena, Arkansas. You know, where the cocaine drops were going on? Yeah. Arkansas, which also ran a blackmail operation with photos taken of the customers with their girls. Well, according to the Gibbs family, Bill Clinton was a regular customer of Judy, and there were photos of him having sex with her that threatened his presidential campaign. While cooperating with law enforcement in a drug investigation, Judy died when her house burned down. Oh. Well, Linda Tripp wasn't a threat. Yeah. All right. Any other questions? If you want to go to the whatreallyhappened.com and find out more about Hillary and the dark past of the Clintons, feel free. It's scary, isn't it? 414? Wow. No, I'm not mad. I've been tracking your statements, Big Daddy Kane. And your hair looks wet, Dave. Missed anything tonight? No, other than the fact that you're so superficial to talk about my hair that you probably would not even understand what I'm saying. Hello, green-eyed girl. You made it. Yay, green-eyed girl. Made it to our show. 1970. Yeah. Well, I missed you too. We've always liked your chat. Yeah, she's at an 83% reality that she'll be president. And the GOP is not prosecuting Hillary on any of the email charges. They're not encouraging the FBI to prosecute. Yeah, they're just going to back off because they realize that Donald is scary. I think the GOP would rather lose an election than to have Donald win it and to lose all the support from future generations of people who don't like Hitler. No, not at all. That was just a GIF. GIF. When you are in the mood to rough it. Oh, sorry, this content is not available right now in my area. Scissor fight. Yeah, let's not focus on other characters and their superficiality. Let's talk about really meaty stuff tonight. Things that really matter. There's got to be something we can talk about. Where's the beef? I mean, here's something pretty meaty. Well, this meat is actually alive. Yeah. You see, folks, dead meat does not have to be completely dead to be on sale at your market. Yeah. Yep. It's what's for dinner. Apparently, a lot of the nanoparticles that are caught in the air are being ingested by our cattle. And they're making meat so that it can actually be alive longer on the shelf using nanotechnology. So by the time you eat it and those nanoparticles enter your body, your intestines start to look like that. Have you ever noticed how you get rumbling in your stomach? Well, maybe you've held your arm out and watched the muscles twitch. It's nerves, that's right. You know, dating back as far as 1965, the government has been testing RF frequencies and stimulating animals. And they were able to get dogs to move even though they're dead. Yeah, amazing technology has been investigated. All of that technology is top secret. I'm unable to discuss it. I can't talk about microwave generators. I can't talk about scalar weapons. Whoops. Did I mention scalar weapons? I'm sorry. And please, let's not talk about nanotechnology being dumped in the skies above you. That would be a bad subject to talk about. Not appropriate. We don't want to talk about all the crap they're dumping in your air. Oh, really? Clang Douglas found microwaves make the electrons spin backwards. Well, thank you, Clang. Clang Douglas. Thank you very much, Clang. The end is near. Well, I felt that 30 years ago, so I guess I'm a little ahead of the game. Have you ever been sitting around thinking, well, the end is near for 30 years and wondering when it's coming? I liked the work that Phil Schneider tried to do, talking about his relationship with his dad, working in the underground caverns of Dulce, New Mexico. I'm very amazed at his effort to stay alive, too. And they tried to kill him numerous ways. But since I don't acknowledge the existence of aliens, it's difficult for me to talk, in a realistic manner about Phil's work. Phil Schneider, everybody, discussed aliens at length and dedicated his life to this. But, again, I still need an eyewitness account to believe that aliens exist. Here's Phil.
One of them did this. All I remember is that he just kind of waved his hand in front of his chest, and the next thing I know, this blue beam hit me and just literally opened me up like a fish. And one of them did this. All I remember is that he just kind of waved his hand in front of his chest, and the next thing I know, this blue beam hit me.
You can see he's missing his fingers. Yeah. Well, he did have a huge scar down his body. He claimed there was a massive war between the aliens and the humans in 1977. And Phil, well, he believed that he lost his fingers and he had a split down his entire body that looked like a blue beam had cut him apart. So, I mean, I'm not going to just throw away his testimony. I definitely acknowledge it. But I still am a holdout in believing that aliens exist. I mean, I will promise you. I will definitely fully disclose aliens if I'm president. I'm working for you. The reason why I'm even doing this, because the American people need a voice in Washington. Not because I'm some alien conspiracy theorist guy. All right? Dos, New Mexico. Sure, we can talk about drones with magnetic pulse weapons on another night. Tonight we're talking about the wasted space between your ears, right here. Nope, they won't be able to brainwash me. I am impervious to brainwashing. My program is designed to defile any virus or malware attacks. Yeah, there's a lot of tech, military tech secrets, yeah. Oh yeah. I've got a magneto helmet designed to prevent attacks. I put this together for only pennies on the dollar. You could make one too. Whenever you happen to go into any conference and you want to wear a tinfoil hat, this is the one you want to put on your head. It's made out of mylar, gamma shield radiation protection. I wouldn't wear that if you paid me. Dude, they will just use the Secret Service to hold you down and brainwash you, dude. That's if we have the Secret Service near me. Yeah, I won't be employing the Secret Service at the White House, just so you know. Heads up, I'm aware of their little plan. That was Phil Schneider. Let me give you a link. He was a guy that really went out on a limb talking about this in the 1980s. It matches the tie, thank you. And let me give you just a picture of one of his, his videos are very well made. Here's Underground Alien Bases Phil Schneider video. You can check it out. Anyway,
we're serfs and they're the kings and queens. Now, that's a feudal system. That isn't even a democracy.
That's right. Yeah, it's really well worth watching. If you'd like, we'll watch it tonight. I don't mind playing that tonight. We got a lot of good things lined up for our late night show. We have videos all the way till the 2 o'clock hour in our news and tech section. Which, at 10 o'clock, I move over to the news and tech section as per Miss Scruffy's request. Yes, he ended up dying 3 different ways. He has 3 different causes of death on his death certificate. One is asphyxiation. The other one's a heart attack, and the other one's died with a rubber hose around his neck. So unlike Justice Scalia, who had a simple heart attack with a pillow over his head, there was no autopsy either with Phil Schneider. Just actually, like Justice Scalia, there was no autopsy. He was last seen talking to a parking attendant with ashen skin. No, Rob Schneider is the fairly untalented guy from the fairly unhumorous show Saturday Night Live. I do remember who he is. 2 hours later, he was dead. Are you serious? Are you making this up, 363? Or you're pulling my leg? Are you pulling my finger? Schneider is dead. Not Rob Schneider, though. Phil Schneider. Philip Schneider. Oh, yeah. Well, I showed you that frozen dart last night. Or earlier tonight, I showed you the video. At the beginning of our show, I featured the discussion of the CIA's heart attack gun. See, not many people don't even watch the news, or shall I say, go on the internet to find out information. Most people don't even know that gun exists. This is the MMW int. Okay. And you're making all this up as you go? I'm not a Taoist, no. You really like Deuce Bigalow? Really? You think he has talent, Rob Schneider? Well, good. At least he has some supporters. I get you. Roger that. You're overground. The MMW int, what is that? I don't have any access to any MMW int on the internet. What are you explaining? 363. Yeah. I think you're making this up. So many people make up stories about aliens, and you don't know if Phil Schneider is actually making that up or not. But he claimed he met an amazing character when his father was down there working on the underground alien breeding centers. Okay, what did you say? Snappy, are you on crack tonight? You have appeared a little bit off in your chat. Dave, play a doc. I'm falling asleep here. Okay, coming up. Here we go.
We are now being ruled by an autocracy and a technocracy. In other words, technical knowledge as rules as king, with a feudal type system. Feudal systems haven't been used in the last 350 years, and they're coming back like gangbusters. If we are complacent, if we do not speak out in droves, and I'm not just talking about me, I'm talking about a bunch of us getting together and getting on this stump and loving our country more than we love our lives, getting on, some of us are going to get killed. I almost got killed a couple of weeks ago. Hadn't been for an FBI, a retired FBI man who risked his life, his career, everything, put it all on the line, and he didn't know me from Adam. A week prior to that, he listened to one of my tapes I gave up in Post Falls, Idaho, and I'm going to be very blunt about. He said that we need a lot more of you, but unfortunately we're not getting anybody. Well, I'm not the best speaker in the world, but I'm trying to relay to you that we need to get out and seriously get the message out.
Yeah, this is the thing. Many people have gone out of their way to talk about this and try to reveal the secrets that they think are happening. And this guy claims he's battled aliens, although I still don't believe in aliens. A lot of people have come forth talking about their experience. You were ill? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, there's been a flu rolling around. I'm fighting one off right now. I think I'm going to have to, lay down and go to bed after the show. I'll sit and watch a show with Sarah and just rest. I've been taking a ginger. I got kind of like an upper respiratory thing. Yeah? Oh, that's good. Well, you should baby yourself when you're sick. Everyone should. That's the best way to get healthy. One of the things to remember, when you are sick, don't waste your energy. Your energy that you need, like if you're working and you're sick, just slow down. Really. Slow down. Don't waste your energy, because that's what you need to keep your immune system strong. Okay, for a quick, I haven't clicked on your links for a long time. Is there anything worth clicking on there? Take a look. Oh, an amazing. Amazing street performer, yeah. That's good. Sandy Hook criminal Caitlin Roy DeBellis' magic. 15 kids into 3x4 toilet. Picture it. Oh, right. The story of these 15 kids getting crammed in the bathroom. And no pictures to prove it.
Welcome. This is how I see it. I wanted to share.
Okay, that's good. I want to play that. We'll start that tonight. You're using doTERRA oils, but I ended up to die. Oh, really? I heard doTERRA was pretty good. But it's using essential oils, you can barely combat an illness. Sometimes you need antibiotics. I have muted everybody. Snappy, I'm not muting you. No, you're okay. All right. Well, we've had a good conversation. It's been healthy. And I want to thank all of you for coming into the show tonight. Tomorrow's Technology Thursday. I know, sipping sweet from energy. Yes, that's good. 817. Tomorrow is a Technology Thursday. We'll be discussing new technologies. We'll carry on with the discussion of encryption in our phone systems, as well as the future of renewable energy, green, clean technology. What's it going to be about when the price of oil continues to remain low? Where are we really heading? In terms of balancing our needs of the planet? Because apparently corporate greed has taken a sidestep, and they went ahead and offered low-priced gasoline because they don't want everybody to drift away from gas and buy cheap car or expensive cars like Priuses. I don't know. It seems like there's something to this. How long will this oil glut last? That's another huge question. And will it affect an oil shortage in the coming future? Will we be seeing shutdowns in refinery operations? And we've never built a new refinery in America for fuel. We're still using technology we came back in the 1970s to create. So, thanks, 5Air. Thanks for coming in. The time is approaching. All right, everybody. We continue with the videos in the news text section. Yes. And I come into the chat and talk throughout the evening. But usually off camera. I like to take a break. All right, everyone. Thanks for coming in and talking about topical issues and relevant stuff. I'm still really concerned that Justice Scalia did not have an autopsy. It tells me emphatically that there's a cover-up, which means there was a murder. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for complimenting me on my hair. Yeah. All right.